TNN Motorsports presents live exclusive coverage of the Sears Auto Center 250 from the nation's most venerable speedway, the 92-year young Milwaukee Mile. Beautiful, perfect day for racing here in southern Wisconsin. The temperature is going to get up near 80, and there's a light breeze coming out of the south to cool these fans as they watch the action hot on this racetrack. Well, amidst the beer and the bratwurst, welcome to Milwaukee. Hi, everybody. It's Summerfest here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm Mike Joy along with Buddy Baker. Chad Little's already run 7 kilometers here at Milwaukee this weekend. Johnny Benson's run 125 yesterday. More on that later. They will try, Chad, to eat into Benson's point lead, and Johnny Benson will try to get back on his winning ways at a track he knows well and has had a lot of success on. But, Buddy, they're both starting deep in the field, and this track is not kind to cars that miss the setup.
Mike, I tell you, of all the racetracks we go to, this might be the most difficult racetrack to get around starting way back. Flat corners, it's a give-and-take racetrack. Something happens in front of you, there's a lot of racetrack you can't use here, so they'll have to be very careful.
Well, the man who was on the pole for this race, well, he's a man on a mission and had a great day here yesterday and a great start here today. Glenn Jarrett's with him.
Well, mission nearly accomplished yesterday. Dennis Setzer made his rookie run in the Super Truck Series race, almost won, finished a close second to Mike Skinner. Last race, it's reported that this race team will shut down after today's race. You set it on the pole. I know you got special thoughts today, Dennis.
Yeah, sure enough. You know, it's awful special for the Alliance Tractor Trailer Training Center's team. They've done a great job all week. You know, Ricky Pearson's prepared a great car, and it's kind of a sad thing to see them go, you know, but hopefully good things will be on the horizon here. So 1996, here we come.
You've got a great car. You're awfully fast. Can you make the fairy tale come true? Can you win this last race?
Well, it sure be nice, you know, to go out with a bang right here. I don't know. It's a good car in practice. Seemed pretty good on old tires and new tires, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Best of luck to you. I'm a sentimentalist. I think that he can do it. On the outside of the front row, Super Truck Point Series leader Joe Ruttman qualified Mike Wallace, Duron Panks, Heilig Myers Ford. Real close on the outside pole, but Mike will have to go to the rear because he was in Daytona during qualifying. Mike?
Thanks, Glenn. You've met the front row. We'll have a look at the entire starting lineup when we come back to a perfect day for racing here in Milwaukee. Stay with us here live on TNN. We'll be right back.
This is Dale Jarrett's NASCAR. You can't get his engine, you can't get his tires, but you can get his motor oil. Texaco Havoline Formula 3. It's formulated to control volatility and fight oil vaporization. It provides complete protection, and it's the exact same Havoline you can buy right off the shelf, which, by the way, is a heck of a lot easier.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the stars.
With each race, he faces a new challenge, a fresh shot at the pole, and another chance to win this season's overall prize, the Busch Series Pole Award. Only then will he earn a ride at Daytona, where he'll run with the big boys in the Busch Clash. We're proud to be with him from the first turn to the last. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
So when I turn the key, it sounds like my starter is going bad. And so I figured since I heard about AutoZone, it was a good place to try as any, right? But get this. I go in there to buy a starter. The guy tells me we need to test my old one first just to make sure that's not the problem. It turns out that it's the solenoid switch. That one little test saved me a big headache. You know, that AutoZone's all right. And when you get service like that, I mean, you don't forget it.
Excuse me, are these yours? What you wear for football and basketball, baseball and biking and hiking and tennis, walking and working and resting and running and jumping and leading, following, sitting and standing and, hey, just about everything else you do in a 24-hour day? Well, are they? They sure look like it. Jerseys. Excuse me?
Today's exclusive coverage of the Sears Auto Center 250 on TNN is brought to you by Havoline Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. By the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by smooth Busch beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
Welcome to Milwaukee. As we said, it's Summerfest here for 10 days. Just a great celebration downtown. And, well, 3 days of that should be part of Summerfest. Right out here at the Milwaukee Mile. The Kawicki Memorial Fun Run was Friday night as they fire engines here. The truck race was yesterday. Great show, and we expect more today. Pit stop strategy and rules for the day. Glenn Jarrett.
Okay, Mike, NASCAR has allotted each team 4 sets of right side tires, 3 sets of left side tires. That's 3.5 sets for those of you who want to do the math. That's all they have. They can't beg, borrow, steal, buy any more tires from anybody else. They've got to make those work. They've got to manage them. So skills that Barry Dodson showed us at Dover will not come into effect here today. Now, most of the crew chiefs I've talked to have said they fully expect to go around 60 laps, maybe as many as 70 on tire wear before they have to change tires. They want to save the tires as much as they can for the end of the race, so I don't think you'll see any early pit stops for tires. However, they figure they can go 90 to 100 laps, 90 to 100 miles on fuel. So unlike your Monte Carlo or Thunderbird outside or in the garage, these cars go further on gas than they will on tires. Speed limit down pit road today, 45 miles per hour. Should be around 3,000 RPMs in second gear. Other than that, they're just going to wait and play things out as they come.
Thanks, Glenn. Here's a look at the starting lineup as the cars are fired and ready to roll here at the Milwaukee Mile. Dennis Setzer has his first career pole in the last outing for the Alliance team. Mike Wallace, outside pole, will start in the back. Jeff Green, runner-up at Charlotte. His brother David, the series champion. Row 3, Kenny Wallace, who won at Richmond. And Larry Pearson, winner at Darlington and Myrtle Beach. Then it's Doug Hebron, who's had a couple of great runs the last few weeks. And Mike McLaughlin, who got his first win last month at Dover. Kevin LePage makes his 5th top 10 start this year. And Elton Sawyer finished 2nd at New Hampshire. Bobby Dotter's a former track record holder here. And Dale Jarrett, 4th here in 1985. Rodney Combs finished 8th here 2 years ago. And sophomore driver from Appleton, Robbie Reiser. Tim Fedowa, who won at Nazareth. And Phil Parsons makes his first Milwaukee start. Jason Keller, 3rd in the point standings. Rich Bickle, the pole sitter at Charlotte. Curtis Markham, highest finishing rookie in the race last week. And Hermie Sadler, who finished 2nd at Hickory. Row 11, Ed Barrier in the Caterpillar car, his first Milwaukee start in 10 years. Jerry Nadeau, 4th start of the year for the Connecticut driver. Johnny Benson Jr., there's the point leader way back in row 12 with Tracy Leslie, who was 3rd at Charlotte. Dirk Stevens has one of our in-car cameras this afternoon. And Jeff Fuller, who has a 9-point lead in Rookie of the Year standings. Chad Little's way back in row 14, 4-time winner this season. And Tommy Houston, who finished 5th here 10 years ago. Buckshot Jones makes his Busch Series debut. And Randy Porter, with a new paint job, makes his 2nd start here. Johnny Rumley has a pair of top 10s this year. And Stevie Reeves makes only his 2nd race appearance in the series since Bristol in April. Steve Boley, new car, new team, first start since Richmond. And Marty Ward, the top sportsman driver of NASCAR, makes his Busch debut. Patty Moise makes her first Milwaukee start. And Russ Galindo, also out of the NASCAR Sportsman Series. Kevin Simmons, 2nd start of the season for the Virginia driver. And Jim Bound in a backup car after yesterday's practice crash. And Doug Taylor makes his first Busch Series start since Watkins Glen 4 years ago. Here's your AutoZone race analysis, brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores. AutoZone, best parts in auto parts. 250 laps is the distance around this 1-mile oval. 39 cars will start today, and Mike Wallace holds the race record set 1 year ago. He'll be riding along in the Ford Credit Ford Thunderbird of Elton Sawyer.
Second gear, about 40,
Sutton racing machine. There's over Elton's shoulder with our race cam.
Okay, buddy. Look over and get it.
And off the roof, that's as close as you'll see to the view Elton gets.
Right.
And there's the view he hopes he'll have of the rest of the field. And out the back.
Right behind the
and out the driver's side window from the mirror post location. There's the teddy bear car right alongside. Dirk Stevens starts 25th in the Duralube Chevrolet, number 64. His route cam shows you Johnny Benson, the Busch Series point leader, and Tommy Houston. And from the back, there's Chad Little, winningest driver on the circuit, and the new paint job of Randy Porter. And there's a look at Dirk, ready to go. Evinrude, that thing's got an outboard motor?
I think not.
I hope not. Maybe up on Random Lake. Steve Boley. New effort, the Supreme Lobster Durashine car. That's a Ford, number 26. And a look off the roof at Johnny Rumley. There's Jim Bound alongside. And there's a look at Steve Boley, 1993 Central Division Winston Racing Series champion of NASCAR. Mike Wallace and Dale Jarrett went to the rear because their cars were qualified by other drivers, so they will start tail end Charlie on this field, and we are under green for 250 miles of racing on the Milwaukee Mile.
Mike, you see them already trying to make it 3 wide getting in this corner. It's very narrow through here. The racing groove itself, the bottom line, right up, you see some of the cars actually putting the left side rubber on the inside of the yellow line going in the corner. See Dennis Setzer getting into turn 3 there on the outside. This is one good part of this racetrack. You can race side by side all the way around, not give up that much distance.
They sure did yesterday in the Super Truck by Craftsman Series race, 125 miles there. Mike Skinner won it. Dennis Setzer in a Dodge had a terrific run to finish second. We still don't have a leader in this race. They're still side by side.
Well, you see Jeff Green in the number 3 there coming off turn 2. He was one of the fastest cars in practice yesterday. You know what that means? Absolutely nothing. Different type race today. A little bit hotter, and I think some of the cars that were fast yesterday may not have that advantage today.
Here are your leaders. The front 2 still side by side. Dennis Setzer, there's David Green, Jeff Green in the black number 3. Number 8 is Kenny Wallace, and the 92 is Larry Pearson. Nobody's giving an inch. I love it.
Well, you see Kenny Wallace there in the black and white, number 8. He's right on the bottom of the racetrack. He looks like that car is handling quite well. I'd look for him to move toward the front.
All right, Setzer. The Alliance Tractor Trailer Training Center's number 59 establishes the lead. Slim Jim 44, the red car, that's David Green, the series champ. Here's his younger brother, Jeff, right on the bottom, digging.
Well, we could have a couple of brothers here. All the brothers run well. That's both the Greens right there in second and third. David and Jeff, we have a spin. That's Robbie Reiser. He's spun down in the corner.
And we'll stay green. Reiser gets it going again.
So much for track position, but the good part is he didn't hit anything, so he's back underway.
Up front, 4-car battle, not a breakaway, not even close to a breakaway here. In fact, buddy, it looks like the line is under the yellow line because that track apron is banked every bit as much or as little as further up in the corner.
Well, Mike, what we're seeing right now is basically brand new tires. If you get such super grip here right now that it's easy to drop below the line, you see there they're trying to get a good angle off the corner. They're actually getting half of the car under the yellow line. As the tires go away, they'll begin to move the groove out a little bit.
Jeff Green at number 3. Now running in 4th. Kenny Wallace has moved up to 3rd in the Red Dog Beer number 8. Let's see how everybody got through Robbie Reiser's spin here.
You see Robbie going down in. Oh boy, he was. I don't think anybody hit him. He just lost control. This racetrack is so flat that when you start in the corner, if the back starts leading into the corner, you're going to spin. He was very lucky that everybody got by him without making contact with him.
Back up front, Larry Pearson makes a dive underneath Jeff Green. Pearson threw out the first ball at last night's Brewers-Yankees game. Scout came up in the stands, wanted to offer him a contract.
Well,
it was a piece of paper wrapped around a bratwurst.
Here comes Kenny Wallace up on the inside of David Green. You see him giving him a hand signal there. It's too early in the race to make a stand right now. I think what he's doing is letting the faster car go right now with Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace, his car owner Phil Martossi, spotting up on the roof here of the covered grandstand. Oh, in the wall, Rich Bickle. Now, Bickle had climbed from 18th to 10th. And he spins the Kleenex Pick and Save car around and into the fence. Another of the hometown heroes here. But we stay green.
Yeah, you see Jeff Green going by his brother David there as they go in the corner. That's the 3rd spot right now. And just behind them is Larry Pearson in the 92. Right now, what you do, Mike, you don't get panicky if somebody passes you this early. He knows he's not right on his chassis right now, so he'll ride to the first pit stop and then adjust accordingly.
Plenty of time. Here's what happened to Rich Bickle. As Pearson bounces across the bottom of the racetrack, he's almost under the white line that's way below the yellow line. Let's show you Rich Bickle.
Okay, that's Tim Peterwald just behind him. It looks like they made a little bit of contact there, and around goes Rich Bickle. You see Peterwald just barely got by on the outside.
Well, a little bit of contact. I'd say it was plenty. 8 laps complete. Here comes Kenny Wallace digging for the lead. Right off the bottom of the racetrack. That dog can hunt.
That dog can hunt, and that dog can get lower than the 59 car, Dennis Setzer. He was right on the very bottom of the racetrack. That car is really handling. Also, he's running a 471 gear here, which really turns him to like 8,200. And these other cars, most of them are turning about 300 RPM less than Kenny is.
Horsepower. Kenny Wallace has it, and he has the lead. Dennis Setzer rides in second. Jeff Green is third. Larry Pearson is fourth. In fifth is David Green. Sixth, Mike McLaughlin.
Some people can't afford to worry about the fuel in their tank. And when it comes to consistency and quality, their demands are among the toughest in the world. That's why most major domestic and international airlines depend on Citgo. And with more than 13,000 locations across America, you can depend on Citgo too. Citgo, the sign of quality.
You know, keeping the interior of your truck cool isn't easy, especially when it rains. That's why you should get a vent visor. The vent visor installs easily on cars, trucks, or anything you drive, with no tools, no screws, and no holes. It lets you park with your windows cracked to ventilate the interior, even when it's raining, so the inside stays cool and dry and protected from damaging heat. It really is the easiest, most practical accessory to fix up your truck. Now, if I could only get NASCAR to put vent visors on the Super Truck.
Today, millions of Americans are running faster with the same size engines and farther on the same amount of fuel. Millions have discovered the patented advantages of the split-fire spark plug, a difference that delivers on every stroke of every piston. 5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs, a 4.8% gain in mileage. If you're not running the split-fire, you're probably behind someone who is. Split-fire, more power and more mileage for your money back.
One of these hammers is jacketed in high-impact polycarbonate. The other one is broken. The fiberglass jacketed hammer from Stanley.
Babe Ruth has done it again. How does he do it?
Maybe it was the Baby Ruth, the caramel, the nougat, the peanut-packed power.
What a blast!
Baby Ruth from Nestle. This baby gets you going.
Welcome back to the Milwaukee Mile on the Sears 250. Kenny Wallace running out in front of Jeff Green, but for how long, buddy?
Not very long. It looks like Jeff Green's car goes anywhere he wants it to. Look at the right front corner through the... As he goes in the corner, these sprung so soft that it looks like the metalwork is actually going to dig into the racetrack. That car is really hooked up. He's getting tremendous side bite.
Here's Robbie Reiser, the Wisconsin State driver who went around earlier. Let's see if we can get the cause of this one. Uh-oh.
Whoa. That's Elton Sawyer, it looks like. Might have had a little piece of the action there.
Almost felt that one.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing, having your sponsor on the hood.
Right. Back up front, Jeff Green closes right up on Kenny Wallace. That's Ford versus Chevrolet.
Okay, just coming off the corner, you can see Kenny Wallace actually pulling 1 or 2 car lengths. Now, the 3 cars should close in near the end of the straightaway because he has less gear. He's pulling 456, which gives him more top end, but not quite to jump off the corner. You can see Kenny come up out of the corner here. He'll stretch just a little bit, and as they come down the straightaway, the 3 cars should close in.
We're caution-free thus far. Robbie Reiser spun off the front bumper of Elton Sawyer. And Rich Bickle had a little help from Tim Fedua in getting around. But though both drivers spun, they both continued. They're both still in the race, and we are caution-free so far.
You know, we keep talking about gears and everything, but that's a driver's choice. And this morning they were deciding whether to leave the gear in Kenny Wallace. And when they said, we're going to leave it in there, Kenny was applauding. Right now, imagine, we have trouble at turn 4 up here.
Leaders come off the corner. There's the 81, which has gotten up in the fence, Doug Taylor, making his first start in this series in 4 years, and there you see the damage to the right rear corner on his UniFirst Ford.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people calling that cosmetic problem there. That is not cosmetic, that's surgery there.
We stay green. No caution out for Taylor.
Look at Jeff Green now. One thing that gear would do after this racetrack begins to get a little bit slick, you have to baby the throttle coming out of the corner. So if you're turning a lot of RPMs, it'll break the rear wheels loose. So a car that lugs a little bit, like a 3-car with the proper gear in it, not that Kenny's not right, but would tend to hurt the car up out of the corner.
Here's Johnny Benson, number 74, the Lipton T Chevrolet, just moving underneath the Lysol number 63 Curtis Markham.
One thing I admire about Johnny Benson is he does not run for the championship. He runs to win, and they're not even counting him. He said he didn't care anything. Well, he cares about the points, but he's not counting them already.
Benson moves up on Jason Keller and Phil Parsons making his first start here. Now, the 99 is Parsons. Right behind 57 is Keller, and here's Benson, 74. That's Kevin LePage. Phil Parsons said he first came here in, I think he said 1967, at the age of 10 to watch his older brother Benny race here.
Well, Benny run right well here, and I tell you, he looks very smooth off the corner there in the Luxair car. Phil he's an adaptable race car driver. He runs well on super speedways, flat tracks, and short tracks. He's an all-around good driver.
Here's that battle. Rodney Combs in the number 43, another new paint job. For Rodney, this is 11th, 12th, and 13th. And there's Benson, the point leader. He has climbed to 14th position right now.
Boy, that camera was right on that left front. You could see a little bit of the dust come out of the left front from using the brake getting in the corners there. That was really a good shot.
Do you use a lot of brake here, buddy?
Oh, yeah. They're running double air scoops to each front brake and single to the rear because you do generate a lot of temperature. And a lot of the trucks yesterday in the race had trouble with the brake and had to actually reline the brakes at halfway.
In the Denny Corp Pontiac, that's on the outside, Rodney Combs, who ran in the truck race yesterday.
See Jason Keller in the 57 there trying to get by Parsons right now. He's not very successful at the moment, but he's working on the low side and should be able to get by him here pretty quick. So.
Parsons up to 11th, Keller is 12th, Benson is 13th, 14th is Combs, and 15th Curtis Markham in that pack. Take you back to the front, where Kenny Wallace, the Red Dog Ford, leads Jeff Green in the Goodwrench Chevrolet. TNN's live coverage from the Milwaukee Mile continues after this message. Here's a look at your top 10 as we go to break.
I'm going to have to.
Monroe developed Sensatrack shocks to smooth out the road for a comfortable ride. But Sensatrack doesn't stop there. It's the only shock that also gives you extra control when you need it most. Sensatrack shocks and struts, only by Monroe. For comfort and control. Get Sensatrack shocks. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe ride expert near you.
Peerless Faucet didn't come up with the idea for a spout long and high enough to reach over and into large objects. We merely adapted it for the kitchen. High-rise faucet designs by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 of our 35,000-mile all-season steel-belted tires at an incredible low $109. That's right, any 75 or 80 series, any 4, just $109 at Pep Boys now.
Kenny Wallace leads the Busch Series race. First time he's led since he won Richmond. Right behind Jeff Green, right in his tire tracks.
Well, Jeff Green's very happy where he's at right now, and I see Kenny beginning to throw the car just a little bit, which makes me think the handling might be going off just a little bit, but he's still getting around the racetrack very well.
Now, buddy, they're coming up on Jim Bound. Bound had to start their way in the back.
Well, yeah, he actually tore his car up. He got in oil of another race car and tore his other car, his main car up, and had to go to a show car. And he had a bunch of the guys from the Bear team, Chad Little, come up and help him get in the race. This is a show car that he's running.
Just got overlapped by the race leaders, Kenny Wallace and Jeff Green. 26 laps complete of 250 here in Milwaukee. And very slow out of turn number 2 is the number 95 of Ed Barrier. There he is, right side of your screen. Barrier may have lost an engine.
Mike, this may bring out a caution because that's a long ways around this racetrack to coast.
We'll see if he can get turned into the infield, buddy, before coming to a stop. Down the back straightaway. Elton Sawyer running up on Tim Fedewa.
Well, if you want to know what it looks like to run a Busch Grand National car, this is the sight that the driver sees. This is more like what you see from the driver's seat than any other camera we have. See down the front straightaway here as they start into turn one on the slower car going in that corner. You can see how flat the racetrack appears.
That apron is banked just about as much as the rest of the racetrack. Varies between 6 and 9 degrees, we're told. Back riding with Sawyer, and that voice you hear, other than Elton's
Clear.
Chesapeake twang, calling clear for Elton is Ricky Cade, his spotter, up on the roof.
Whoa, look at Fedewa get loose going in that corner. Now, that's what you have to watch out for. The tail of that car went way out. He was very, very lucky to catch it.
Solid Gold McDonald's, Jim Patterson's chain of McDonald's stores here in the Milwaukee area, sponsoring Fedewa this week.
305 liter, 32.95.
Team calling out lap times to Elton Sawyer. These cars are 8.5 seconds behind the leader. You go in that Solid Gold McDonald's down around Greenfield, they have Kulwicki Corner. They have a whole area there, restaurant dedicated to the late NASCAR champ who is fondly remembered. A lot of Kulwicki t-shirts in the grandstand yesterday and today here.
Well, I tell you, Fedewa is doing some solid gold driving right there because that race car is really loose. You see him move to the outside there. That shouldn't be much of a battle for that position. Fedewa's car kicks out just as he applies the power coming up out of the corner. Makes it pretty tough.
This race is for 5th place. Glenn Jarrett.
In the battle between Elton Sawyer and Tim Fedewa. Fedewa loves this type of racetrack. He won at Nazareth earlier this year. He loves the flat surfaces, as does Elton Sawyer. In practice yesterday, even though Buddy said it doesn't mean a whole lot yesterday, Elton Sawyer had the fastest car in both practice sessions, just had a bad qualifying lap, so he has moved up into 5th now. His team fully expects him to be able to go to the front.
It's interesting, Buddy. A lot of the drivers have experience here at Milwaukee and not the drivers you would normally expect at the front, save for Johnny Benson, who's won some here. But Bobby Dotter, Robbie Reiser, Midwestern drivers who've run here a lot. Tim Fedewa was one of them. There's Dotter right there on the right side of your screen in 08. Former track record holder here, moving up into that 5th place battle.
Well, Glenn, as you well know, Elton Sawyer led this race right down to the very end last year, and it was certainly hot and slick in. So he has some good stuff to put in his notebook to make the race car good for a hot day. So I'm sure they adjusted this morning to make it even better yet.
Dotter has caught that group. The High Tools Chevrolet 08. Moving up on David Green, defending series champ.
I see Bobby Dotter's got some damage to the right front corner of that 08 car. You can see it right there as he starts out of the corner. He's got up under somebody on the start here and bent the nose down on that car.
Well, will that make it a little more or less aerodynamic?
Well, he seems to be running quite well. That's David Green right there, and you know how well that car runs, and he's up under him trying to make the pass as they come off turn 2, so the car's running pretty well.
And just behind those two, well, here comes Dotter inside. He's going to make the move on Green and should complete the pass.
When you get down there, you really have to pedal that thing off the corner, keep it from breaking the rear tires loose, especially on that low line.
Green strong in the middle of the corner. Now Dotter with half a car length advantage.
Now you see when two cars race side by side, just behind them Jason Keller and there comes Benson up. When you're running side by side, it really slows both cars down. You see Jason Keller just makes the move right on by.
Just had a little bit of contact between the leaders. Jeff Green getting right snuggling up close to Kenny Wallace. Wallace in 8, the Ford. Green in number 3, the Chevrolet, and they did get together. Let's show it to you. One lap ago.
Okay, they go down in the corner. You'll probably see right along here the 8 car jump sideways just a little bit. It's kicked out there. Green comes in underneath him. Gets in the left rear. If I'm going to get hit, that's the way I want to get hit, though. All that did was just remind him I'm still back here.
Jeff Green filling up the rearview mirror of Kenny Wallace. That's the battle for the lead. It's every bit as good as the battle we had yesterday in the Super Truck by Craftsman Series race. Now there's Phil Parsons battling with David Green. Look at how Johnny Benson has come through that pack.
Well, you know, it hadn't been that long ago that David Green was trying to take the lead, and he's going back through the field. I tell you, when your handling goes off on a mile racetrack and it's this flat, it really shows up. He's just dropping right on back through the field. He would love a caution right now to work on that car.
Here comes Jason Keller down to the bottom, and Benson, and they go by Bobby Dotter using the lapped car of Jim Bound as a pick. Number 51. Benson is on a tear.
Well, I tell you, Benson week in, week out has got to be the most. Well, that's why he's leading the points, folks. He's the most consistent car out there, and he just don't know when to quit. He just keeps right in there digging, and he has some good men in the pits there.
Those tire marks on Benson's car come from the first 4 or 5 laps of the race as well. For the lead, Jeff Green down the inside. Well, he had the position, didn't get the spot. That's the way it's been here for 37 laps, and it'll continue when we come back live to the Milwaukee Mile on the Nashville Network.
I never park up front of the parking lot. That's how door dings happen. The towels bug my wife. She calls me a tightwad, but I'm not a tightwad. I just don't want to scratch the upholstery. No, if people took care of their cars, they wouldn't have to keep buying new ones.
Pure oil now.
I change my own oil and use Purelator filters.
Pure oil later.
Have to watch the dog up there. Tell
legends live on Purelator.
Oh, look, a nickel.
From Darlington to Talladega, through Daytona, Rockingham, and Watkins Glen. In every major NASCAR race, Busch Beer recognizes the pole winner with the Busch Pole Award. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, everyone follows the leader. Busch Beer, proud sponsor and official beer of NASCAR.
Put yourself in the boots, the hat, the jeans, the chaps of a rodeo cowboy on a hot Friday night in Mesquite, Texas. Get your vicarious thrills right here on Championship Rodeo, tonight on TNN.
For a pleasurable stroll or serious shopping, visit the Northwest Promenade.
Hi, I'm Murray Keston, inviting you to come in and see why M. Keston Apparel for Men has been voted Bradenton's best men's store. M. Keston Apparel for Men, Northwest Promenade.
Bears, dolls, handmade crafts, it's all part of Collectibles by Linda. We specialize in Barbies, including new and back issues, as well as Wimbledon, Wildwood, and Hamilton dolls, Goons, Bumpy, and Artist Bears. Collectibles by Linda. The Northwest Promenade, 67th Street and Manatee Avenue West in Bradenton.
The Victory Games help children focus on their abilities and skills, not disabilities. It's important to enhance self-esteem for daily life in all children. Kepler & Associates needs dedicated workers to help raise funds for this and other events. It's an easy, rewarding way to make excellent money and contribute to a worthy cause. Call Tracy to set up an appointment to start your training today. This is a job where you get paid well and talk to some great people. Call today and help others while earning incredible wages. Call Tracy today, 751-2756.
Jeff Green snatched the lead away from Kenny Wallace.
Mikey was just waiting for that opportunity. He's had a car, and he just waited for Kenny to go in the corner a little bit wrong, and he got up under him and made the pass. And this early in the race, I think there's not going to be that much fight. You see, going in here, he just makes a move on the inside, closes the door where Kenny can't turn down right there. He loses traction just a little bit in the center of the corner. You see how equal these cars are, though, coming off the corner. They're basically very fast, both of them.
And Wallace stays right with him as they lap Jerry Nadeau, the former Xerox Saab Series open wheel champ. Glenn Jarrett?
Well, guys, as we're approaching the 50-lap mark, I started polling some of the teams to see when they might be thinking about green flag pit stops. As I told you earlier, most of the guys were looking at around 60, maybe 70 laps on tires. I asked Jeff Cruz, pit boss Tony Urey, the crew chief, how long he thought they could go when they thought they might come in. He said, oh, about lap 95. Did I hear you right? 95? That's half again as far as anybody else said. He says that they got 75 laps yesterday in practice. Now, another two cars that are coming up through the field, Chad Little in car number 23 and Dale Jarrett, I believe running 12th and 13th. They may move up to 11th and 12th now, but those two cars have come from way deep in the field. A lot of these guys would like to see a caution flag to even things up. I believe you got a bunch of equal race cars out there.
There's Phil Parsons, the Luxair Chevy, Chad Little. If he can make this pass, it will be for 9th place.
You see Chad getting a nose under there. He's trying to get under Parsons as they come off the corner. Chad Little's got tremendous straightaway speed with this car, but you see he's got a match on the outside there. As they go down in the corner, he makes the pass.
They're going to lap past Marty Ward out of Georgia. in his series debut, driving that Hooters car.
Yeah, and you can see Dale Jarrett. He's the third car in this bunch right here. He's just out of the frame as we go down the back straightaway.
There's Jarrett, the Mac Tools machine, number 32. That's a Ford as well. That's 9th, 10th, and 11th place. We've been caution-free for 45 laps here at Milwaukee.
Boy, that's incredible in itself, because you can see there's a lot of buildup starting to happen just outside the groove there. You can see all the little pebbles and rolled up rubber on the outside there. So a car, as long as they stay in the groove here, it's going to be pretty good. But if you ever make that mistake and get one tire outside the groove, goodbye.
One banana peel, that's all you need to slip on.
You got it.
Chad Little, halfway into the season and in the hunt for the points championship. Glenn asked him yesterday, what's going to be his approach from here on out?
We're chasing, Johnny Benson. They've proven to be very consistent, and I think that's what we have to do is just think championship everything we do. So we don't need to take unnecessary chances on the track. But again, if you're too complacent, then what's that do for you? Well, then you're in the middle all the time, and so you can't do that. The competition's too hard. You really got to just charge and be up front, but yet be smart about it.
Friday, Chad and his team spent $1,100 to change their plane tickets. They had to turn in non-refundable plane tickets so they could participate in the Alan Kulwicki charity run walk, and he ran the distance.
Well, I tell you what, that black hat there, all these guys that run for championship wear those big old black hats. You see Chad Little there, he's running second, but he's wearing the black hat already.
He's about 16 seconds behind the race leader, buddy, in 9th place. Bill Parsons right behind him. Jeff Green's the leader. Kenny Wallace in second. Dennis Setzer is third. We'll be right back after this.
Some people can't afford to worry about the fuel in their tank. And when it comes to consistency and quality, their demands are among the toughest in the world. That's why most major domestic and international airlines depend on Citgo. And with more than 13,000 locations across America, you can depend on Citgo too. Citgo, the sign of quality.
It's Racing Roundup. Welcome Bill Parsons, driver of the number 99 Luxair Chevrolet. Phil, ready for the big race?
Don't think I'm going.
What?
You know how hot it gets in that car.
Oh, sure, Phil, but you're,
comfortable right here at home with high-performance Luxair Central Air.
But what about your fans?
Fans? You don't need fans in a house with Luxair Central Air.
Thank you, Phil Parsons.
Folks, look in the yellow pages for your Luxair dealer or call 1-800-LUXAIR.
Hold it. This isn't you, it's an older guy.
Oh, that was before I got rid of my gray hair with Just for Men hair color.
Come on, that's too natural to be hair coloring.
Just for Men. Apply and in 5 minutes rinse. Gray is blended away for a totally natural look.
Think it'll work for me? In 5 minutes.
Just for Men looks too natural to be hair coloring. And now try Just for Men Color Gel for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. Brush in, rinse out. Just 5 minutes.
Every day, we all find a way. A promise made, a promise kept, giving it our best.
America's most complete source of auto parts, a national warranty program, and customer service only Napa can give. No wonder more people trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Sears Auto Center 250 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
First caution of the day is out here at Milwaukee. Russ Galindo of Charlotte, the behind-the-wheel video Chevrolet, spun at turn number 4 to bring out that caution that Glenn Jarrett said many of the teams were seeking. It's the first yellow of the day. We're now at lap 51. And we'd expect everybody on pit road.
Yeah, you can see them already lining up as I speak. They're turning into pit road now.
Let's go to Jeff Green's pit. Glenn is there.
And Mike, they're waiting on Jeff to bring the car in. In fact, they are putting scuffs. Now, I talked to a couple of teams. A lot of the teams scuffed their tires yesterday. Goodyear didn't really recommend it. This is one of the teams that did. They have a set of scuffs out here to put on Jeff's number 3 Monte Carlo. So, and it will be, I think, a 4-tire change. That's what they have planned right now. We want to get a look at these tires. Once they take them off, we want to see if we can get some idea of how the wear was. That was a pretty good 50-lap run there, so we should have an idea just how long the tires will go. They're on the left side of Green's car right now. A little bit of trouble on the right side, a little slower than they would have liked, but yet the left side goes on real quick. Trouble on the left rear. Jeff's down and away. I believe he's beating everybody out. Yeah, there comes Dennis Setzer down in second. So we'll get a look at these tires and report back.
I'll tell you, Ricky Pearson and that Dennis Setzer crew had a great pit stop. They are pitted right at the start-finish line. If they were more down toward turn 1, they might have beaten Jeff Green out. Great stop for that crew. But Jeff Green will retain the lead after this round of pit stops. Tracy Leslie's bumped into a tire coming out of his pit stall, and he'll lose a few spots in the process. We're under the first caution of the day. We'll be right back.
Split fire won a United States patent. It's clearly different, but is it really better? Some of the toughest judges in the nation conducted trials and published their verdicts. 5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. A 4.8% gain in mileage. Quicker in the quarter mile. There's nothing like a split fire. You'll get more power and more mileage, guaranteed. You'll get it all for your money back.
Hey, Mike, hand me my channel lock pliers.
Tommy, give me that plier over there with the blue handles. What kind of pliers is that? These are channel lock tone and groove pliers. My dad uses them on his race car, too.
For the tough jobs and the small jobs, reach for Channel Lock, the handiest plier of them all.
Hey, guys, anybody seen the channel lock pliers?
Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock pliers. Look for this trademark.
Hey, you get into fitness, you're likely to get into athlete's foot, and that could be tough. I mean, look at, you've got all that itching and cracking stuff, and watch this. Boom, even burning. You see that? Now, that's what you call a really tough case. That's when you want a medicine that acts tough. Boom, tough-actin Tinactin. See, Tinactin cures even tough cases of athlete's foot fungus. It's clinically proven. No wonder it's recommended by pharmacists. You got a tough case of athlete's foot? Get this. Boom. Tough-actin Tinactin.
In the middle of my workday, I don't do power lunches. I do power lifts. And when you work out this hard, you better use a deodorant that works hard, too. That's why I use Speed Stick. It gives me 110% protection that lasts all day. And fortunately, all night. Because while I may not have time for lunches, I always manage to find some time for dinner.
Speed Stick, like you, it never quits. And try new Speed Stick Clear for clear protection that never quits.
5 minutes.
It doesn't get any closer.
Last year, it was a Winston Cup war. Ernie Irvin's early lead got pushed in the dirt, but Ernie clawed back, then got loose, yielded to the man in black. In the end, Ricky Rudd's late race spin cycle laundered Earnhardt and gave Ricky his first win as an owner. It's the Winston Cup Slick 5300 next Sunday, 1 p.m., noon Central on CNN Motorsports.
It's going to be a wide-open paint-swapping war.
Welcome back to Milwaukee, getting set for the restart here. Opryland USA, official destination of NASCAR. For information, call 615-889-6611 weekdays. For the green flag at lap 55. Jeff Green, lap cars on the outside, lead lap cars on the inside lane. And we get right back at it here at Milwaukee.
See, Jeff Green got a tremendous start there. He must be 8 or 10 car lengths ahead of the second place car down the back straightaway.
A little bit of traffic there as a factor. Elton Sawyer got a real good pit stop from the Bob Sutton crew, and there you ride with Elton in third place.
Mike, you're going to see an entirely different race right now. Most of these guys were waiting on a chassis change, and you'll see people running up front that wasn't there just a little while ago. Dennis Setzer is falling back. Now he's up here in second, and they're closing in on the leader. Kenny Wallace there in the Red Dog Special just in front of Elton Sawyer as they come off the corner. You see Dennis Setzer kind of measuring him up. He looks to the inside as they go down the back straightaway. He's just as fast as Jeff Green is now.
And here comes Kenny Wallace in number 8. That Red Dog Ford right off the bottom of the racetrack. 2 Chevys and 2 Fords. Or rather, a Chevy and 3 Fords, excuse me.
That's one of the things I love about Busch Grand National Racing. They don't worry about downforce. They just put their right foot on it and go.
Here comes Wallace. Draws right up to Setzer, drops inside. Well, but Setzer's got that steam at the end of the straightaway, buddy.
Well, that's the gear we were talking about. Kenny's turning a lot of RPM at the end of the straightaway, and this engine does not pull that well. 9-to-1 engine with the 390 carburetor just runs out of juice when it gets down to the other end if it's turning a lot of RPM.
Kenny Wallace failed to qualify for the Firecracker 400 in Daytona. Came on up to Milwaukee a day early and worked the truck race yesterday as a commentator for CBS. Here comes Benson, going to make the move on Mike Wallace.
Well, it don't seem to make any difference where Johnny Benson starts. He just goes to the front. And you see Dale Jarrett has moved in the fray now. He's trying to make that outside pass. If he does that, he gets the Attaboy Award for the day.
You said it. Let's go to the pits.
Looking at where Mike Wallace is running on the racetrack right now in 5th position. He came in before that caution. He was in about 15th or 16th place. So they had the best pit stop of anybody out there. As you said, Dale Jarrett up there, he also gained several positions on the pit stop. But by far, Mike Wallace had the best stop of anybody.
Well, Mike's in trouble right now because Dale Jarrett is closing in, and he may have the fastest race car on the racetrack. You see in the middle of the corner, he's actually trying to pass these cars on the outside. That is not the preferred line, but he's making it work.
Mike Wallace went into the pits 16th, to back up what Glenn's saying, and he came out of the pits in 5th. Now here comes Chad Little, right up behind Benson.
Well, here Benson said it worked for Jarrett. I think I'll try it on the outside. I don't know, Mike Wallace was thinking.
5th place on back is the battle, and Tim Fita was part of it. At 55, that white, yellow, and green machine.
Well, Chad's way down low on the racetrack. You see Fita while they're in the green and yellow car, right in the back of these 4 cars as they come by. Fita has already won at Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and this type of racetrack, he really gets around well on.
Benson right up to Mike Wallace again. He's got the inside. Here comes that little teapot.
Yeah, you can see it kick out just a little bit as he started off the corner. He lost a little momentum, but he's making it up on the far end of the straightaway.
And his shadow, as it has been for these last many weeks, Chad Little, 23.
I would say something about that little challenge we had from Chad Little the other day on the walk and run. He ran all the way, and I walked all the way, so he's in good shape, and he's really driving that race car well this year.
We may see a little more of that later. All right, here's Chad. Is he making the move on Benson down to the inside? Chad Little trying to give Benson a headache.
Wow, he drove her in there deep, got on the brakes, got the car turned, but Benson has a little more momentum in the center of the corner.
Glenn?
Well, Mike, buddy, I want to ask you a question. And you said that you walked all the way in the run, and Chad ran all the way. And I know Mike Joy was there. What did he do all the rest of the way? I heard something about a golf cart and 4 good-looking girls.
Well, we're going to get back to the action here. You see Chad Little getting a little sideways there, going through the middle of the corner. And you know Mike Joy, he'd rather ride than walk any day.
Glenn, here's a bulletin for you. Never complain, never explain. But I'm told we have video. Here comes Fedor. Puts that 55 car right underneath Chad Little, and Little was running as low on the racetrack as you could get.
Well, Mike, what he did, he actually got too low, and you can see the car kind of jumped through the middle part of the corner, and he lost traction, got sideways, and that allowed Benson to move out on him there a little bit. Well, they went right back down there again. Something he liked. He looked like he's running at Pocono. You know how low they run through 1 and 2 there. But Chad's driving his heart out right now, and I'm sure he's going to get more competitive as the race goes along because he has that ability to set that car up on each stop.
This race is for 6th place on back. Up at the front, Jeff Green continues to lead the 2 Fords of Dennis Setzer and Kenny Wallace.
Yeah, about this time before the 3 car of Jeff Green started to move away from everybody, but you see Dennis Setzer's made that adjustment on his race car, and he's sitting right in the shadow of the leader.
Setzer pushing out a little bit in the middle of the corner. Kenny Wallace trying to gain just a bit of ground. David Green, or rather Jeff Green, leading and right there on the bottom. Here's 4th place, Elton Sawyer. All of our TNN folks saddened by the loss of Mark Gleckel, producer, director, cameraman, lost his life while covering an off-road race in California on Friday. We'll miss him, and you will miss his pictures. And our thoughts are with Maria and Mark's 2 young children. And for Mark, who we know is up there watching, let's let you enjoy a lap in his behalf.
America's most complete source of auto parts, a national warranty program, and customer service only Napa can give. No wonder more people trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running. Starting on up, you're behind the wheel. Move it down the road now, see how it feels, yeah. Add more life to your car. Take it to the store.
From Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines to Haviland Formula 3 motor oil and Texaco Antifreeze coolant, there's no better place to take your car than to the Star.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the store.
From August 24th for 10 days, Opryland dedicated to all types of racing with drivers, merchandise, and exhibits all throughout Opryland Theme Park. For information, call weekdays 615-889-6611 for the TNN Salute to Motorsports at Opryland. Your race leader, Jeff Green in the Goodwrench Chevrolet, has 4 top 5 finishes in the last 5 races, including a career-high second at Charlotte.
Mike, I tell you, he's the most improved race car driver from the first race of the season of anybody out there. He earns this race car now. I guarantee you, it's doing what that 3 car does every week, and that's run up front. And I know they got to be proud of the effort that this boy's putting in now.
And the battle of the point leaders has tightened up too, buddy. Johnny Benson sits in 6th. 7th is Chad Little. Green is the leader. Dennis Setzer is 2nd. Kenny Wallace is 3rd. Dale Jarrett is 4th. Elton Sawyer is 5th. Here is 6th and 7th. Tim Fita was 8th. Jason Keller is 9th. Mike Wallace is 10th. And it's Mike McLaughlin, Bobby Dotter, Larry Pearson, Phil Parsons, and Curtis Markham, your top 15. Rich Bickle is 16th. Really amazed, buddy, watching this.
Oh, we got a problem with Johnny Benson there. There's smoke coming off the left front tire. I don't know whether it's body work rubbing the tire or whether, I don't really see where it's been beat in there, but he's got a definite problem.
Buddy, if they still mount an oil cooler in the left front on that, or was that a piece of tire just going? I wonder if it could have been oil smoke.
Well, we're going to look here. Boy, I don't see any damage whatsoever to the body work, and it's not smoking in that corner. There might have been something hung up there just for a second. We'll look going into turn 3 here. That's where we seen the most of it a while ago. Well, mystery smoke is gone. Yellow flag is out right now.
We are under caution, and it is for debris down in turn number 1. Well,
wow, that looks like a piece of wood, or that might be a, well, I don't know. It looks like lead or a piece of wood, but it might be the piece of wood that holds the lead in the frame.
Holds the lead in position where they place it within the frame rail. Now that's usually secured by a piece of wood to locate the lead, and then then there's a plate that bolts it in there.
I don't think I want to speculate on that because no. Johnny Benson's one heck of a race car driver, and I'm sure that whatever it is, they'll fix it when he stops.
But you can see the way that wood was chunked up. That might have been what was rubbing there as Benson came around. And we did see, as he came down that front straightaway, something fly out from under the car. Benson's spotter is Danny Cameron today, who formerly spotted for Alan Kulwicki. And he's up there on the roof for Benson. Well, looks like most everybody's going to stay out. Wow. On this caution.
Yeah, you don't like to speculate that it was even off of Johnny Benson's car because he may have run over something there, but he was smoking down in turn 3, and then all of a sudden it quit, so apparently it was something rubbing a tire on Benson's car and it fell off.
We're under caution for the second time today, and it happens at lap 74 for debris in turn 1. Look at Elton Sawyer as we take this pause from Milwaukee.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are folks who like to work on their cars themselves. But the ones who come in most often are those who work on cars for a living. Guys like Ed Graven. Now, Ed's garage is in Ogden, Utah, where most of the time you'll find him pulling an engine or sliding under a car. And just about every day, he drives past a half-dozen other parts stores on his way to AutoZone. Because Ed knows that when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Start with a good cause.
I come to be living proof that the money they raised from this event is working because I was born with cystic fibrosis.
Add a bunch of ropers and riders.
Well, I'm a singer by trade.
I'm a real cowboy.
And you will have a rodeo.
All right, now how do you hold that thing? I want that big old belt buckle.
With Mark Chestnut in concert. Ben Johnson's Pro Celebrity Rodeo, July 16th on TNN.
Inside Winston Cup Racing today on TNN Motorsports.
Due to TNN Motorsports live race coverage, Win will be presented at a different time. 5 p.m., 4 Central, today on TNN Motorsports.
For a pleasurable stroll or serious shopping, visit the Northwest Promenade.
If you want to give the very best, come and see the difference that quality jewelry can make. You will learn why our customers have grown to trust Puro's for honest values and personal service. Visit Puro's Jewelers.
Pastry Art, a bakery without compromise, offering distinctive cakes, pastries, and specialty bread. We have it all, and our new Espresso Cafe, only the finest at Pastry Art. The Northwest Promenade, 67th Street and Manatee Avenue West in Bradenton.
The Telepersonals Network.
Now the personals are on TV.
Every night, live here on cable.
If you're single, turn it on.
On the Telepersonals Network, you'll see ads from hundreds of singles in your area. Place your own free ad.
Listen and respond to other ads.
The Telepersonals Network.
It's the single best way to meet someone special.
Tune in to TPN nightly from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Cable Channel 19.
Time for today's Pep Boys Driver Profile. Pep Boys for quality parts, tires, and service. Trying to fill the seat vacated by Dale Earnhardt would surely intimidate most veterans. What's it feel like to a young up-and-comer? Jeff Green talks about the pressure, the present, and maybe his future.
Going to Daytona and Dale winning 5 races there, and I'm supposed to win the 6th one, you know, and I was virtually a rookie down there, and we did have a good day there, finished 7th, and went on through the season, had a lot of motor problems. Not a lot, but enough to set us back that was really in a hole for the points. You know, when I started this deal, Earnhardt told me he was going to retire with children, so, you know, I'm sure he's going to be a car owner one of these days, and he's got an awful good truck racer over at Ron Hornaday, and not that me and him are in competition to each other, but, you know, I feel like I've got the upper hand on Ron because I've raced a lot of cars, and those trucks are a lot like Winston Cup cars, but these Busch cars are real close, and you never know. You know, Earnhardt's pretty fair about the deal. He might get 2 cars and let us run them, so I'm really not worried about that right now. I'm just worried about this Busch Series, and hopefully we can do the best we can for Goodrich.
Jeff Green, today's Pep Boys Driver Profile. Johnny Benson has made a pit stop. He was the cause of the caution. Here you'll see that piece coming off the car, upper left of your screen. There it went. If you blinked, you missed it. Glenn Jarrett?
Well, Mike, what you guys speculated correctly, that was a block of wood. Now, these guys use lead to fill in the side rails. The side rails of the car are empty or hollow, and so they put lead in there to bring the car up to weight. If they don't fill the whole side rail up, they use a block of wood the same size to keep that piece of lead in place. Now, the block of wood is held in place with a 3/8 bolt like this. For some reason, the bolt holding the block of wood broke. That's what we saw come out. They brought Johnny in under that caution. Another block of wood in there, bolted it in, sent him away. Steve Bertocrucci says he doesn't think there's any problem. Johnny said the car felt the same to him. They don't expect to have any more problems, except trying to make up all that track position they lost with the extra pit stop.
Thanks, Glenn. Benson comes back out in about 27th position. Pace car about to come in. It's Jeff Green leading Dennis Setzer, Kenny Wallace, Dale Jarrett, Nelton Sawyer, the top 5. Chad Little, Tim Fedewa, Jason Keller, Mike Wallace, and Mike McLaughlin. That's your top 10 as we go back to green.
Well, Mike, one nice thing about the Busch Grand National Racing, the fast cars go to the inside. They start different from the Winston Cup. Winston Cup always, cars on the lead lap are on the outside on restart. Here it's on the inside, so you get a great jump into the corner, and they can't take a good groove away from you.
Jerry Nadeau in the Busman Fuses car, splitting our 2 leaders. Former open-wheel star, 1 lap down.
See, Dennis Setzer trying to get under him before they get back in the next corner, but as you can see right there, the cars, even in the back of this field, run quite well down the straightaway. It's up to the better handling cars as they go along. You see Dale Jarrett there making a move on Kenny Wallace as they come out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway.
Jarrett to the inside, both Fords. McTool's car underneath Wallace. 3rd place as you watch from 5th place, Elton Sawyer. Wallace scrambled back down to the bottom of the racetrack and covered the spot.
Well, he had to. Elton Sawyer stuck his nose in there, and now they come up out of the corner. Elton Sawyer's got a very, very good race car here today. As Glenn said earlier in the broadcast, they were one of the fastest cars in practice yesterday. I said it didn't mean anything. Sorry about that, folks. It means a lot because this car is really hooked up and going fast.
Elton will be driving the Hooters Ford next Sunday in New Hampshire. You'll see that Winston Cup race live right here on TNN. Buckshot Jones makes a pit stop as we continue under green at lap 80 of 250 on the Milwaukee Mile.
You see Dale Jarrett there. He's the 4th car on the racetrack, but he's actually running 3rd right now, and he moves under Nadeau as they go down in the corner. Look how good this car is sticking on that yellow line. You could actually see him turn it hard and turn back to the bottom of the racetrack coming off the corner.
A little further back, Dirk Stevens. That's Randy Porter just ahead on the inside, almost getting together with Robbie Reiser.
That's up close and personal as you want to get right there.
That's 3 abreast in the back straightaway. Look at this. Patty Moise way down to the inside. Has to check up. Kevin LePage moves around her.
Patty says she cannot get a handle on this racetrack, and I thought to myself, she ought to be great because she's a good road racer, but she says she don't know what to tell them to do the car, so she listens for experience today.
Riding with Dirk Stevens as he moves outside Robbie Reiser.
Ooh. Good check up there. Robbie Reiser had stayed in the throttle. He would have took the car on. That's Hebron on the outside. He could have made it very hard for him to get out of the corner.
Now, Doug Hebron was running in 4th place before pit stops. Then Mike Laughlin's car, the Cincinnati Millicron machine, he's now back to 18th place, Glenn Jarrett.
The problem with Hebron, you're right, he came into pits running 4th, came out 21st. They jammed a lug nut on one of the tires on the stop. They could not get it off, so he lost a lot of valuable track position. The team was really upset, but hey, that's just one of those things that happens.
Watch Benson now, moving up through the field in the Lipton number 74. He's underneath the Vermont Teddy Bear machine. Kevin LePage also went the whole 7 kilometers Friday evening with his German Shepherd. They both ran. He wasn't riding or anything like that.
Well, right in the middle of the picture here, that's Johnny Benson trying to come from the back. And I tell you, on this type of racetrack, track position means a lot. You can see in front there, several cars are getting sideways coming about in the corner. So he wants to get back up towards the front where it's not quite as congested as just in front of him here.
See a few tire marks in the right front corner of Benson's machine. There's Johnny Rumley. As you're watching from number 26, Steve Foley.
Well, the Lobster's still in the middle of the plate there, so he's doing a good job. Yeah. He's not getting, in bad places, and I'm sure he's getting a lot of good experience out here. These boys are really running hard right now.
Foley drove in 4 Busch races for Jack Ingram in '92, finished 8th up at Lanier Raceway in Georgia. This is his 6th career start.
That's Dirk Stevens on the outside there. You see our camera right in the middle of the top as they come off turn 2 there and go down the back straightaway.
Good side-by-side battling. As you watch from the roof, Steve Foley's car. Oh, Dirk, hang on. 2nd place. And give it to Dale Jarrett as he slides underneath. the 4, number 59 of Dennis Setzer, the pole sitter.
You can really see that Dale Jarrett has that car set where he can turn it in the middle of the corner and really get back in the throttle hard, and he is really flying around this racetrack right now.
Setzer pulls right back up toward Jarrett, trying to keep him in sight.
You can see how soft the cars are sprung. Whoa, that's a bird that went up through there. I thought a car had lost a part.
Easy. At the end of this season, this entire racetrack will be dug up to a depth of 4 feet and completely resurfaced, we're told.
Wow, I tell you, this surface has held up for a long, long time. I understand that this pavement was repaved in 1967.
Wow.
So that's a good job out there. And the cars are really getting around this racetrack pretty good. You can't tell the pavement's that bad.
And the winters here are not kind to asphalt. Just drive on one of the interstates around here and you'll see. Here's Tommy Houston, the Red Devil enamel number 6 Ford. Underneath one of the Unifirst cars. I believe that's Randy Porter. Oh, they get together hard.
Wow. That was a smart move on the 6 car there to get that car away and get back under control there and pull out of the way of the cars behind him. You see Tracy Leslie there in the 72. He had to check up pretty hard. That's Hermie Sadler in the number 1 car, the black and yellow car that's leading that bunch. Houston right now is learning to breathe again.
5th place. Chad Little to the inside.
Wow, did Chad get down in that corner hard? He went right by Sawyer, just going down.
33.18. Lap times 33.18 seconds.
Wow, that's quick around here, as hot as it is today.
And Tim Feedaway right with them, 55. Tight pack there. Add Jason Keller to that mix in the budget gourmet Chevy.
See, it's not a walk in the park. You can see Chad Little catching that car. Sideways, catch it, sideways, catch it. He's doing a great job.
Chad Little up to 5th place. 90 of 250 miles complete here at Milwaukee at the State Fairgrounds. We'll be right back with you live on TNN after this.
There's a place where the humidity can be so thick you can practically cut it with a knife. And spaghetti sauce flies through the air with wild abandon. It's the Dutch Boy Paint Testing Facility, where we put Dutch Boy kitchen and bath paint through over 70 tests to be sure it resists moisture, peeling, and even staining. All to make sure that when you buy Dutch Boy, you're not just getting a paint that looks beautiful. You're getting a paint that lasts. We guarantee it. Give your home the lasting look of Dutch Boy.
Hello. Today, Phone Patrol needs your help. On the night of June 5th, I received an anonymous tip. A local resident was allegedly dialing 0 to make collect calls. As I attempted to correct matters, the situation quickly escalated. Oh, no. To date, the perpetrator remains at large. If you or anyone you know makes collect calls from home or anywhere, please dial 1-800-COLLECT. You'll be helping to save hard-earned cash.
I always said I'd come back here. And minor arthritis pain wasn't going to hold me back. Not as long as I have my Ultra Strength Bengay. It has 3 pain relievers. They only have 1. It's the strongest Bengay ever for deep, penetrating warmth right where it hurts to help the pain go away. Because to me, retirement has nothing to do with doing nothing. Ultra Strength Bengay. Nothing stronger.
Today, millions of Americans are running faster with the same size engines and farther on the same amount of fuel. Millions have discovered the patented advantages of the split-fire spark plug, a difference that delivers on every stroke of every piston. 5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs, a 4.8% gain in mileage. If you're not running the split-fire, you're probably behind someone who is. Split-fire, more power and more mileage for your money back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Sears Auto Center 250 on TNN is brought to you by Split Fire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more till you use it.
Highway transportation provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey. Winnebago Motorhomes. Call 1-800-988-4884. We know why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. One of those new Winnebagos waiting for us Tuesday at Lime Rock. Got to race up there and then haul it to New Hampshire for Joe Barbagallo and the folks. That'll be fun.
Would have to be fun. Elton Sawyer's having fun right now. He's just behind the Chad Little car as they go into turn 3. You see Chad Little's car beginning to get a little bit unmanageable getting in the corner. He's just a little bit loose, but even with that, he's catching Kenny Wallace.
Up there left is your Napa running order. Brought to you by Napa. We keep America running. We'll show you where your favorite driver's running here at Milwaukee. About 1.6 seconds from first to second place as Jeff Green stretches it out a bit. Good battle right here for fourth place.
See Jason Keller there in the 57 car. He's running very well. He's just behind Chad Little and these guys right now, and I'm looking at these cars trying to figure out why some of them are not able to stay on the bottom of the racetrack. I guess the deal right now is they're really hunting a groove that they can apply the horsepower back off the corner. You see them cut right down the white line now. What you're trying to do is get a good angle off the corner there. That's very important. Get back in the throttle as quick as you can because the track is really so flat getting in the corner.
Well, Glenn's right down there in the entrance to turn 1. Glenn?
Well, Mike, what Buddy's saying is exactly right. They're searching around trying to find a little better groove. A lot of teams have been working with the air pressure, adjusting. Larry Pearson called in a while ago, said his car felt like it was skating, like it needed air out of all 4 tires. So that's exactly what they're doing. They're just not happy with what they're feeling right now. That's the way race drivers are. They keep searching around until they find something they like or until they get in the loose stuff and hit the wall.
Buddy, I understand if every pound of air that you change in the tire equates to about 40 pounds worth of spring change. Can you explain that?
Well, what you try to do when you let the air pressure down, you see Chad Little right there, it's definitely a little bit loose as he comes back into the power of the car. You let a little bit of tire pressure out, that lets that tire grab just a little bit better. Same as applying to a tire for snow or something. It lets a little bit of air out and gets better traction. That's what they're looking for right now.
Elton Sawyer, Chad Little battling side by side.
The one thing you do have to worry about, though, you let too much air out of it, it rolls under and then gets into parts on the race car and it'll cut it down. So you got to be real careful about how much air you let out of these cars.
Still side by side. You see Kenny Wallace getting away from them just a little bit.
Look at Chad Little. He really handling down that straightaway. Boy, he's had a great engine all year long, and I don't think he's led the race today at all. It'll be one of the few races of the whole season he hadn't been able to go up and lead the race.
David Green led the first lap here. Dennis Setzer went out front. Then Kenny Wallace and Jeff Green. Those are your leaders today.
You see Elton Sawyer finally getting alongside, but he just don't seem to have the stuff down the straightaway. You see Chad Little pulling back about a full car lap down the front straightaway as they head into turn 1. Elton Sawyer fighting back to the inside.
Buddy, one of the problems that Chad's having with the car, he told me yesterday after practice that the car just didn't feel balanced. He just didn't like the way it felt, and you can see that right now, the way he's having to fight the wheel. Also, they've crashed this car. This is the 4th different front end clip that they've had on that car in 5 races, so it's no wonder it's a little bit unbalanced.
Whoa, look at this. Talk about a sandwich. That was a sandwich just for a second there. That was Jim Bound in the 51 car caught on the inside of 2 cars racing position.
If you joined us late, that Lux Foods car Bound is a show car. They trashed their primary car here earlier in the weekend, and he had to go to a backup and start in the back, so he was lucky to make the field at all.
All you people that say these cars at supermarkets are not race cars, that's proof they are. They went out, got this car off the lot, brought it back in here and changed it over and made a race car out of it.
Still side by side, Elton Sawyer in the Ford Credit, red carpet leasing number 38, and the Bayer Aspirin Ford of Chad Little.
Jason Keller just sitting there saying, yeah, just make one mistake and I'll take both you guys. Chad's certainly not going to give that spot up anytime soon. He's really fast down the straightaway. I think Elton Sawyer may have the better car as far as handling, but he's not getting the angle off the corner to use the power he has.
5th place is what's at stake right here behind Jeff Green, Dale Jarrett, Dennis Setzer and Kenny Wallace. These cars battle for fifth.
You can see what a great crowd we have. That camera right there tells you the stands are full around here. They love their racing up here.
I would say, I was telling one of the writers, John McPullen from the Janesville paper the other day here in Wisconsin, about, of course, all the attention that baseball, football, basketball get in the daily papers. I said, if you go around the country, you've got to figure that Wisconsin ranks in the top 3 of states as far as how many race fans and how avid they are and how many short tracks there are on Saturday nights. This is a great state for auto racing.
Well, it's like being in North Carolina. You walk down the street and people go, how you doing, buddy? Love your, TV and this and that. And they know what's going on up here. It may be Wisconsin, but they're race-minded, believe me, and they love it.
You bet. 105 laps complete. We're coming up on halfway here at the Milwaukee Mile. TNN Motorsports exclusive live coverage of Busch Grand National Racing continues after this.
Monroe developed Sensatrack shocks to smooth out the road for a comfortable ride. But Sensatrack doesn't stop there. It's the only shock that also gives you extra control when you need it most. Sensatrack shocks and struts, only by Monroe. For comfort and control. Get Sensatrack shocks. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe ride expert near you.
Put your backside, trackside.
Play Pennzoil's Brickyard 400 sweepstakes. 10 grand prizes of both a trip for 2 to the Brickyard 400 and a 95 Chevy Monte Carlo Z34. Over 80,000 other prizes. Enter wherever Pennzoil is sold or installed by the pros.
Brickyard's the game, Pennzoil's the name.
At Pep Boys, save $40 on our premium brake service. Our ASE certified technicians will install Raybestos lifetime brakes for only $59.99 after rebate. Get lifetime brakes installed for only $59.99 at Pep Boys now.
At Stanley, we test the quality of our sliding mirror doors by opening and closing them over 100,000 times. This doesn't make for great entertainment, but it does make a great closet door. The Accent Mirror Door from Stanley.
When it comes to Talladega, there's only one speed, flat out.
At the fastest track in the world, you either find the groove or lose ground fast. Last year, Winston Cup's Ken Schrader held off Sterling Marlin, Dale Earnhardt, and Terry Labonte to take the win. Will the Busch Boys regain their self-respect? It's the Busch Grand National Humminbird Fish Finder 500K, July 22nd, 2 p.m., 1 Central on TNN Motorsports.
Join us next weekend. We'll be live from New Hampshire International Speedway. Saturday, July 8th, the Auto Palace 150 by Slick 50. Our Busch Grand National North Race and the NASCAR Modifieds. Then on Sunday, July 9th, TNN brings you exclusive coverage of the Slick 50 300 Winston Cup race. For information on Featherlight trailers, call 1-800-800-1230. Featherlight's the official trailer of NASCAR. Well, let's go back up front where Jeff Green had been pulling away from the field, and now Dale Jarrett, and that yellow and white Mac Tools 32 is running him down.
Mike, you can see Dale Jarrett getting in the corner there. He's much faster getting into the corner. I'm not sure that he's any faster from the center part of the corner out, but Dale Jarrett is definitely pulling down on the lead car as we speak.
Let's go to his pit.
Well, guys, this is John Irvin. He's the crew chief on the car. He was also the crew chief for my dad years ago and my roommate and big brother, so to speak. John, the car's running really well, but you got to be thinking about pit strategy now. Where do you go from here?
Well, Glenn, my tool car is running good. We hadn't made any adjustments all day, and Dale's doing a good job. We're looking at somewhere around halfway, maybe changing 4 tires and keep going. But I'm going to let the 3 car right now dictate what I'm going to do.
Well, even if you pass him and take the lead, you're still going to watch and see what he does?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm keeping a clock on both cars, so I know about what I need to do here.
Okay, and as Dale Jarrett pulls down on Jeff Green, most of it has happened when it came into that heavy traffic, guys.
Thanks, Glenn. 112 laps halfway is 13 laps away. 25 cars on the lead lap, leaving rookie contender Jeff Fuller just went a lap down, so that leaves us 25 on the lead lap. Here's the 9th place battle. Tim Fedowa in 55, the McDonald's Solid Gold car. 92 Larry Pearson is Stanley Tools Chevrolet, and 63 Curtis Markham.
See Larry Pearson there in the black and yellow car on the inside, the number 92. He is very good on this racetrack. He was all the way up to 4th place, and apparently they had a little bit of problem in the pits and really lost a lot of track position. Now he's fighting his way back up toward the front.
Robbie Reiser is with them in number 17. Wisconsin driver who is still on the lead lap despite that early spin that he had. Dives underneath.
Wow, Reiser's really into this thing today. He's got this car running very well. Look at him kind of dirt track it up out of the corner there. It's him in the green car, the number 17 there.
And let's move a little further up front. For now, you're riding with Elton Sawyer, who was finally passed Chad Little after all those side-by-side laps, and Little has to battle Kenny Wallace.
Well, I think Kenny's having a problem right now. The car's not getting up off the corner like he wanted to, and that gear can do that. We talked about in the first part of the race here. He's pulling a little more gear in these other cars, and I think he may be losing traction when he gets back in the throttle.
Kenny Wallace there, and Jason Keller nipping away at that dog's heels.
Yeah, he was really fast for about 10 to 15 laps, but looks to me like the handling may be going away a little bit on Kenny Wallace's car.
I don't know, buddy. Usually the dog chases dinner. Here it's the other way around. Oh, here comes dinner on the inside.
That's Jason Keller in the budget gourmet car that we're talking about there in the 57. He's driving a great race today. Very consistent race car driver. Maybe one of the best qualifiers in all of Busch Grand National.
Could well be. Chad Little nips ahead of Elton Sawyer once again.
Well, Chad, he's still, I don't think he's got the best handling race car, but he's getting the most out of what he has, and that's the real earmark of a great race car driver, is to take a little less and do more with.
All right, the leaders have overlapped. Now Doug Hebron moving up on Rodney Combs, and they have lapped David Green, the Busch Series champion.
Wow.
Green says his shoulder is feeling much better. He's getting back toward 100% here, but he's just gone a lap down. Let's go to Jeff Green's pit. Here's Glenn.
Well, this is Tony Urey, the crew chief for Jeff Green. And Tony, we talked earlier, you said you thought you could go about 95 laps. You had a chance to look at the tires after the first 50-lap run after you pitted a while ago. You still feel the same way?
Yeah, Goodyear's got a good tire here. They did an excellent job with this one. As far as we can tell, we can run a gas stop. I don't know what other guys are doing. Looks like Dale Jarrett might be a problem for today's loader. He must be getting pretty good tire work, too.
Well, they told us that they were going to watch you and see what you did.
I'm going to watch them, see what they did.
Well, I guess we're just going to have a bunch of guys watching a bunch of guys.
That's what we've got here as Jeff Green leads Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett, of course, runs the Haviland Ford for Robert Yates in the Winston Cup Wars, and Larry McReynolds, who's the crew chief on that car and who will be working with us on next Saturday's telecast at Loudon. Our best wishes to Larry and his family. Lost his mom after a long bout with cancer, passed away this week, and our thoughts are with Larry McReynolds and his family as well. 119 laps are complete here at Milwaukee. We'll be right back.
You're beautiful. You're everything I ever want.
If you love your car, what you put on it should be more than just a wax. New Zymol Natural Liquid Auto Polish protects your finish with beeswax and shines with rare Brazilian carnauba. Safe, naturally derived ingredients, so pure, powerful, perfect.
Oh, so beautiful.
New Zymol Natural Liquid Auto Polish.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are the kind of people who like to work on their cars themselves. That way they save money and they know the work's done right. Of course, when they come to AutoZone, they know they're going to find the right part for the right price. But sometimes what they're looking for is just a little advice. And that's okay because we don't put a price tag on it. You see, at AutoZone, we take pride in taking care of our customers. And we've learned that when you treat folks right, they keep coming back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Sears Auto Center 250 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Glenn Jarrett live with you on TNN. Mike Wallace, the first of the cars on the lead lap to make a pit stop, did so while we were in commercial in his Duron Ford. What will the leaders do aside from watch one another?
Well, they got to watch each other. And what I noticed one thing is Dale Jarrett closed in right on the back bumper of Jeff Green. It's like Jeff Green looked in the mirror and said, "Oh, somebody's back here finally." So he turned the wick up just a little bit. He's pulled back about 4 or 5 car lengths now. You see him coming out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway.
Randy Porter, the 20th place car, about to get overlapped by Jeff Green and Dale Jarrett.
Boy, it's tough to pass anybody on the outside here. You see Jeff Green making it around here. He's cutting the angle off on Porter there coming out of the corner. You got to really tiptoe on that outside there.
19 cars are now on the lead lap. 1 lap to halfway.
Now you see how much room he lost at one corner there. He didn't want to quite go out that wide coming off turn 2. And Jeff Green extended the lead to about 6 car lengths.
Long way back to Dennis Setzer, the 3rd place car.
That's Tracy Leslie there. They're about to put a lap on, and that is a very, very good race car. So they are really flying around this racetrack right now, the lead cars are.
Yeah, the Detroit Casket car of Leslie about to go 1 down. He's the 19th place car. Remember, Johnny Benson was coming up well up into the top 10 before losing that block of wood that secures the lead in the frame rail for ballast. Since that pit stop, Benson has not been able to get back to the front. He's currently in 14th place. Glenn is in Benson's pit.
And talking to crew chief Steve Bird. Steve, since you made that extra pit stop, he hasn't seemed to be able to come back up through traffic. Is the car okay?
Yeah, the Lift the T Chevrolet's just great, you know. We had a bolt break in the lead, you know. I don't know why. It just weird thing happening. It's running good. We need a good break here. We need a restart because we got caught behind lap traffic and everything. But she's running good if we can get it back up front.
How long until you have to pit? What's your next scheduled pit stop?
Well, that's what we were just discussing. We go to about lap 160. That'll give us another 30 laps for these guys. And if there ain't no caution, they'll get out of the lap, and maybe we can stay out there because we still run pretty good on used tires.
But remember, with that pit stop, when he made that pit stop for the bolt, they did top it off with fuel. So if the tire wear is good, he might be in a position to win this race because of that extra pit stop.
Caution flag, Glenn, certainly could help him as far as track position is concerned. Jeff Green leads the halfway lap here on the Milwaukee Mile. As you watch Johnny Benson, he's dispensed with some race traffic. Let's take you back up front. There's Jeff Green. Johnny Rumley has gone a lap down as we bring you the Stanley Tools mid-race report brought to you by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley's been helping people do things right. Only 2 caution flags so far for a total of 10 laps. Only 2 cars are out of this event. They are the machines of Doug Taylor and Ed Barrier. 4 leaders, 4 lead changes. Jeff Green has done most of the leading so far as he pulls up on Patty Moise. Tracy Leslie on pit road for a stop. Stevie Reeves was in just a moment ago. And these are scheduled pit stops, but none of the leaders, not so far.
I'm just looking at that right front corner on that 3 car of Jeff Green. I mean, he is really getting some side bites. That car is dragging the right front as it starts in the corner just about. That's really getting it. All you can get out of the suspension there. Dale Jarrett's moving in again.
How much suspension travel would you guess here, buddy?
Mike, I would say somewhere around 3, 3.5, maybe even 4 inches on the right-hand side because you really want the car to get down there and really get a side bite through the corner.
That's a lot.
Well, they travel a lot. Yeah. I've even run Daytona where you got that much travel.
You can see, folks, very well here on this flat track in Milwaukee just how much these cars will move up and down on the suspension as they go into and try to take a set in the corner.
See, there's 2 different ways they're running this racetrack right now. Jeff Green is coming off the corner a little bit wider than Jarrett. Jarrett is getting in the corner so well right now. The one thing that you can see visually pulls in just a little bit right here now. From the center out, it looks like the Green may have a little bit faster car.
David Green, defending series champion, is in. So is Elton Sawyer. Elton Sawyer, the Ford Credit Ford, gets a wipe of the grill and a tank of fuel and right side tires. Green flag stops here at lap 131. Second can of gas going in.
Let's go.
14.6 seconds for 2 tires and fuel.
Switch your image.
Oh, we have a run for the lead right now, Mike.
Did Dale Jarrett just get the left sides off in the grass?
Yeah, he don't care right now. That car's getting tremendous side bite. Jeff Green powers down the straightaway, pulls back almost a car length as they head into turn 1. But this should be a spot here. You see him move right on by.
Now, they're not too far from pit stops, buddy. Wouldn't you guess that Dale Jarrett wanted to find out if the setup he has was good enough to pass Jeff Green?
Well, I just think he's been a little bit faster since about 15 laps ago. He started pulling down on Jeff Green. Jeff Green got through traffic a little bit better a while ago and pulled back away from him. But as you see right here, they're very even as Jeff Green pulls right up on the back bumper of Dale Jarrett coming out of the corner.
And they continue to take cars off the lead lap. They just lapped past Tim Fedowa, who is in 14th, or rather 15th position. Johnny Rumley has gone a lap down, so has Rodney Combs.
Now, you can see one thing there. Dale Jarrett was able to stay right on the bottom of the racetrack where Green had to move out in the center part of the corner. So he may be getting just a little bit off on his setup.
They lap past the U.S. Crane, number 9, of Kevin Simmons. Pit stops for Doug Hevron, Bobby Donner, and Kevin LePage under the green flag here. Kevin gets 4 tires and a new teddy bear.
Sometimes when you got a guy that closes in on you like that, if you've got a better race car or feel that you have as good a race car, you'll let them go by and look where they're running on the racetrack and adjust your groove around the racetrack and actually get faster than the car that just passed you. So he may be going to school just a little bit right now, too.
Last Busch Grand National win for Dale Jarrett, Bristol, 1991.
Well, it's certainly not because he don't run well enough to win races. He just has been snake-bit a little bit, but you can see right now this guy has tremendous talent, and he's driving the race car the way you have to win here.
Tim Fedowa makes a pit stop for 2 tires and fuel. Make that 4 tires and fuel.
Boy, Jeff Green's tough up out of the corner. He gained some 3 car lengths on Dale Jarrett just in the center part of the corner and the straightaway. He's running very well.
Tommy Houston, Red Devil number 6, are pulling down on Houston, who is still on the lead lap. And that's Hermie Sadler in the number 1 car going a lap down, the DeWalt Tools Chevrolet.
See, Tommy Houston didn't just roll over and play dead there. He's still racing hard. He don't want to go a lap down, but I'm afraid he's going to be, completely sideways coming out of turn 4 then.
Tommy hung on to it. And Dale Jarrett overlaps him. When will the leaders pit? Well, there are tires up on the pit wall for Dale Jarrett. So it won't be long. Jerry Nadeau makes a stop and the bus fuses forward. We'll be back for leaders pit stops after this word. There's the look from Jeff Green's pit. We'll be right back.
Hey, I like to save money as much as the next guy. But what are the odds that there's going to be a sale on the parts you need when your car breaks down? Hey, it's not going to happen. That's why I go to AutoZone. I mean, sure, you could wait around for a couple weeks and maybe beat their price by a few pennies someplace else. But I don't want to wait for a sale when I need a part. Now, what more could you ask for?
They're the top college rodeo men and women in America.
I'd like to say it's just another rodeo, but
it's not. It's the 1995 College National Finals Rodeo.
These athletes have worked all year long to qualify for the CNFR. They're the ones out there taking the shots, getting the hits.
Where did a West Texas girl like yourself learn to handle a rope like that?
From my dad.
The 1995 College National Finals Rodeo, Saturday, July 8th at 5:30 Eastern on TNN.
Last year, Martin Truex survived 10 cautions to win it all. This year promises to be wilder than ever. It's the NASCAR North Auto Palace 150 by Slick 50 next Saturday, 1 p.m. noon Central on TNN Motorsports.
pleasurable stroll or serious shopping, visit the Northwest Promenade. Send your taste buds on an adventure as you explore the menu at Safari Joe's. Open for lunch and dinner, Safari Joe's has everything to tame your wild appetite in a unique jungle atmosphere. Safari Joe's. Basket of Memories has a unique assortment of gifts you won't find anywhere else. Victorian shop antiques, antique-filled gift baskets, linens, pillows, Reed's Door swags, you'll find them all at Basket of Memories. The Northwest Promenade, 67th Street and Manatee Avenue West in Bradenton.
Ah, Gulf Front Dining. What a gorgeous view, as well as great dining prices. The Gulf Drive Cafe has been serving the area for over 14 years, featuring fresh seafood, steaks, pasta, salads, and our nationally famous Belgian waffles. At Gulf Drive Cafe, you'll find our prices for breakfast, lunch, and dinner are always early bird prices. So come on out to Bradenton Beach. The Gulf Drive Cafe is here for you.
Pit stop as Mike McLaughlin pulls in. Robbie Reiser getting service. Phil Parsons has been in. 25 seconds for Jeff Green. Johnny Benson and Kenny Wallace made their pit stop just as we went to break. Here's Dennis Setzer, the third-place car on pit road. And Dale Jarrett is one lap away from his pit stop. Chad Little comes down the pit lane in the Bayer Ford as Ricky Pearson's crew, for perhaps the last time as a group, goes to work on the Alliance Ford. They're going to the left sides as Dale Jarrett comes in one pit down from Setzer. Here's Glenn.
And Dale Jarrett brings the McDougal Ford into the pits now. This will be a four-tire change, obviously, and fuel. They said they didn't suspect that they would have to make any chassis adjustments. I see Tim Sigmund cleaning the front of the car. Wes Ward changing tires. Mark Shook, the gas man. John Herbert is the crew chief. He pushes the tires to the guys, to the carriers. They got the right sides done. The left sides are up now. We've got the clock on a little bit of a slow stop on the brake. Already up over 23 seconds. A lot of trouble on the left front. Big trouble on the left front. Wow. 29.41 seconds. That's a bad stop, guys.
Jason Keller up toward the front of the field. Either he or Rich Bickle would be our race leader at this moment. And Bickle has come all the way back from a spin. But those two are the remaining cars on the lead lap that have yet to pit. Scoring's indicating to us that Bickle is the leader and that Keller is right with him. And they have yet to stop. Now here's Bickle, the pick and save Kleenex Ford. He's had some really strong runs the last few weeks, buddy, and had a great start here before getting spun up into the fence, but he's come back and hung on the lead lap all day.
He has that, and this is kind of hometown for him, so he really wants to run well here. He has had great, he's been on the pole already this year. This car is capable of winning any race.
Fred Wankel's crew gets him out in 14.3 seconds, one of the fastest stops of the day for Edgerton, Wisconsin's Rich Bickle.
Boy, you come out of the pits, you're in the racing groove here, down below that yellow line, coming up out of the turn 2 there and starting down the back straightaway. You see Bickle's back up to race speed. Here's Jeff Green coming through the corner right now. That car is really like it's on a string. He was reporting that he was getting a little loose, Mike, but I'm sure they adjusted that car, and he'll be back in there really fighting for that lead.
Rodney Combs comes in and makes a stop, and now Jeff Green is reported as the leader after pit stops. Dale Jarrett, Larry Pearson, Mike McLaughlin, Dennis Setzer. Those are the top 5 at this moment.
Pretty impressive credentials there.
Yes.
In the top 5 in the last 5 races. This kid's got tremendous talent right here. And you know, I think just coming into, like you've seen earlier in the show, getting into this car had to be a major thing for him. I mean, everybody said, well, he don't run like Earnhardt. Well, right now he's running like Earnhardt, okay?
Right. Kenny Wallace in the Red Dog Beer number 8. The Phil Martossi Ford right behind him, Bobby Dotter, the High Tool Chevrolet. And here comes Chad Little with the Bayer Asford Ford.
See, Chad, he's completely down under the yellow line there, coming down the front straightaway. He's really got a tremendous motor in this car. And I would look for him to be a race challenger here, or maybe even win the race, because this guy really fights and works hard all day long.
147 laps are complete here at the Milwaukee Mile. Jeff Green back up front after a round of green flag pit stops. We'll be right back.
Dear Midas, we were on our way to see our new granddaughter. When my mother-in-law's muffler started roaring, she said,
"Let's go to a discount store."
I said, "Let's go to Midas." Well, she didn't even know she had a Midas muffler until Ray said,
"This is a Midas muffler. Do you have the guarantee?"
She checked her glove compartment, and sure enough,
"Oh, I found it."
Then the muffler was replaced free. Thanks for the honest service. Jan Parkinson.
Now that Pocahontas is playing everywhere, every kid wants to be John Smith.
Miss, follow me!
And since John Smith found something magical on his journey, kids can find something magical too at Burger King, where they can get these fun action toys like Miko or Flit with the Pocahontas Kids Club hamburger meal, all for just $1.99. John Smith traveled the world for adventure. All your kids have to do is go to Burger King.
Burger King, get your burger's worth.
When the job is tough, you need the best. And when you need the best, you reach for Channel Lock. For the power. The precision. For just plain counting on, there's only one. Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock tools. Look for this trademark.
Got a car, but need an engine? Then come to Pep Boys, where you'll find a huge selection of over 1,200 quality engines for your car or light truck for as low as $699.99. Import or domestic, all have a 12-month unlimited mileage warranty. And you can charge it with your Pep Boys credit card and pay as little as $35 a month. So come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Sears Auto Center 250 on TNN is brought to you by Pep Boys Automotive Super Center.
Little action there at the fairgrounds here at Milwaukee, out behind the grandstand. While we were away, Johnny Benson made a pit stop. Now, he had told, or Steve Bird had told Glenn they could go a lot further than everyone else, but when he saw the lap times that these lead cars were posting on new tires, Steve Bird decided to bring Benson in and get him some fresh ones and speed him up. Jeff Fuller makes a pit stop, so does Kevin Simmons. And what's wrong with Phil Parsons, Glenn?
Mike, he radioed in and he has lost power. He's going to bring the car in behind the wall. He came by real slowly just a moment ago. There's something wrong with the carburetor. That's what they're suspecting. They're going to try to fix the car and get him back in the race.
Also, we're told Elton Sawyer may have dropped a cylinder or a valve spring problem with his Ford Credit Ford.
But just be smooth with her.
You're riding with Elton as he moves up on his spouse, Patty Moise.
I tell you what, if he's having trouble, a lot of other people out there are too, because he looks pretty fast there. That's Herbie Sadler just in front of him. You see, there's the problem. Off the corner, he loses a lot of time. As he gets RPM up, he gains back a little bit.
Inside.
But it may be, like you say, a little piece out of a valve or something. He's not able to really accelerate. See Kenny Wallace going by. Watch how he pulls him out of the corner here.
So Sawyer still hangs on to the lead lap here. Jim Bound, the Lux Foods number 51, makes a stop. And there's Phil Parsons' car being worked on behind the pit wall. 155 laps, 95 to go here at the Milwaukee Mile, and this man, Jeff Green, has dominated this race.
Well, he has, but Dale Jarrett was the fastest race car on the track. He had a little bit of problem in the pits, and you won't believe what a deficit that made. Like a 4 or 5 second longer pit stop, but he's 3/4 of a straightaway back right now.
Jarrett had one of the 2 slowest pit stops, 29.8 seconds of that round of green flag stops, and there will be, we're told, 1 more round of pit stops.
And you can see Jeff Green right now. He's out there. He's, as they say, flying, looking back right now. That's a good feeling when you're out front this much on this racetrack. I'm sure you can see the interval right here. There's Jarrett just now beginning to get off the corner there.
That's your interval, first to second. Dale Jarrett's Ford.
That don't look like much, but you try to run that down on a race car that's running as well as Jeff Green is right now. And Dale Jarrett had already taken the lead, so this race car is very good. I guarantee you one thing, he won't give up. He'll chase him all the way.
Pulling up on Doug Hevron, who will go a lap down again.
Well, they changed the motor on Hevron's car this morning. They found a little bit of debris in the Oberg on that car and decided, well, we'll just change the motor. And a lot of times when you do that, you don't get to adjust the motor up like you want to. So he's a little bit off pace today, but he has been consistently up front all year.
Now that Oberg is an oil filter, as we watch for Dale Jarrett to come up, that looks like one of those little maze puzzles you get in a crossword book. Unlike a regular oil filter where you'd have to cut it apart to see what's in it, the Oberg, you just unbolt it, comes apart in 2 halves, and any debris that's collected you see right there to see if you have a problem. Now here's Larry Pearson, the third place car. You saw it took a long time to get back to Larry. Quite a gap there.
That's Mike Wallace fixing to go a lap down to our leader right now, Jeff Green. As they start off the corner, you see Mike picking up the throttle there. Down the straightaway, he's probably just as good as Green, but watch when they start in the corner up here. You'll see him come right up on the back fender. There's the difference. Oh, wow.
Johnny Benson and Patty Moise, nose to nose.
Wow. Hard lick.
Goodbye point lead.
Wow. Patty Moise was around backwards, and Benson hit her almost head on.
Johnny Benson's had a lot of luck in this series. In the past few weeks, it's been all bad.
Mike, you see a little bit of flame there in the center part. He's ruptured the oil cooler and everything under there, so.
They hit head on, and it looked, we just had the tail end of it, but it looked as if Moise may have spun.
You see Patty Moise moving around in the car. See Patty getting sideways here. The car starts around. Now right here, see, let off the brake just for a second. Boom, right back out in the racing groove.
We're under caution for the third time today. Steve Byrne and crew will push Benson's car back behind the wall. How quickly things change. 160 laps complete. We'll be right back.
Oh, summer kind of makes you want to eat outside, doesn't it? But with Long John Silver's new Big Fish Feast, it's no picnic.
It's a party. It's our famous Fish and More multiplied to feed 4. Legendary batter-dipped fish, fries, coleslaw, hush puppies, plus golden corn. Perfect for a tasteful family outing or an outrageous eating adventure. And it's an outstanding deal for less than $3 a meal. Now at Long John Silver's. And hurry in for our value meal starting at $1.99.
Winston Cup Racing. It's fast, it's fun, it's ferocious. The new national pastime. Now, Whitnauer International is celebrating this fastest of sports and its bravest drivers with the Speed Star Collection, a limited edition collection of fine watches available for only $69 plus shipping and handling by calling 1-800-355-RACE. Featuring the faces of your favorite Winston Cup drivers, Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, and Darrell Waltrip. The Speed Star Collection. Assembled in the USA with Swiss quartz movement and a 1-year limited warranty. Plus, every Speed Star watch comes with a photolithograph signed by your favorite driver. There's no other sport like Winston Cup Racing, and there's no other watch like the Speed Star Collection, a product of Whitnauer International. Order yours today.
Start with a good cause.
I come to be living proof that the money they raise from this event is working because I was born with cystic fibrosis.
Add a bunch of ropers and riders.
Well, I'm a singer by trade. I'm a real cowboy.
And you will have a rodeo.
All right, now how do you hold that thing? I want that big old belt buckle.
With Mark Chestnut in concert. Ben Johnson's Pro Celebrity Rodeo, July 16th on TNN.
Welcome back to Milwaukee, where we're under caution for a 2-car crash. Coming into this race, Johnny Benson led Chad Little by 154 points. That will change. Glenn Jarrett's with Johnny Benson.
It'll change drastically, Mike, as they're having to change a lot of the components on Johnny Benson's car. There's oil and water going everywhere. There's a ruptured oil line. The radiator is trashed. They got a lot of work to do to the car. Johnny's sitting here. Johnny, what a terrible thing to happen. Just out of nowhere it came.
It's just been a bad day for us. We had some problems, had to come in, and I don't know what to say. You know, I probably should have missed half, but the track is so slippery. I figured she'd come back up across the track faster than she did, and she didn't. Lifting Team Monte Carlo has been running good, but having to come in the pits there a couple times sure didn't help us none.
Well, I know you just got to sit here and wait now, but this going to play a lot on the points battle. I know you don't think about that stuff right now, but breaks like this sure don't help at all, do they?
No, they sure don't, but we'll come back. You know, it's just one of them unfortunate deals, and we'll see what happens in 2 weeks.
And you look at that crew, you get the feeling they're not done for the day. They're going to try to get that thing fixed and get Benson back out there for points. Here's the Peerless Innovation in motion. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
NASCAR teams have long been famous for their innovations, for the ways that they find to make a race car go around the racetrack faster. Now, one of the newest ways is the advent of a rear sway bar here. Now, sway bars are not new. They've been on the front end of the cars since race cars have been race cars. But now the teams have started putting them on the rear of the cars. What this does is help stabilize the rear end of the car just a little bit more, a little bit better than the typical panhard bar that used to be run back here. They can adjust this bar. If the car's a little bit loose, they can tighten it up. If it's a little bit tight, they can loosen it up, all with the rear sway bar, same as they do with the front sway bar. Winston Cup teams have gone to this. Now the Busch Grand National teams have started trying it. This is Mike Wallace's number 90 Ford. You can bet if it works in Winston Cup, the Busch guys are going to be doing this too. One of the newest ways they're finding to make the car go around the track faster.
Thanks, Glenn. None of the leaders made pit stops under this caution. Robbie Reiser's crew is working on his car at pit road at the moment. Buckshot Jones has climbed out of his car on the front straightaway. We'll be right back.
Starting on up, you're behind the wheel. Move it down the road now, see how it feels, yeah. Add more life to your car, take it to the star.
From Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines to Haviland Formula 3 motor oil and Texaco antifreeze coolant, there's no better place to take your car than to the star.
Add more life to your car, take it to the star. Every day, we all find a way. A promise made, a promise kept, giving it our best.
America's most complete source of auto parts, a national warranty program, and customer service only Napa can give. No wonder more people trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Sears Auto Center 250 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Sweeping up pit road here at Milwaukee. None of the leaders stopped. So here's your AutoZone Tech Fact, brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, best parts in auto parts.
We're down in the NASCAR technical inspection, where each car has to go through a tech inspection both before qualifying and before the start of each race. Now, happens every race, every week, so no fudging. One of the things that NASCAR looks for here in the technical inspection area is the amount of camber that the teams run in the rear ends of the car. Now, camber is the inclination preset in the rear wheels this way. They're always turning left, so the tires tend to lean over to the right when they go through the corners. With the advent of radial tires, the amount of side grip was more, so therefore there was more pressure, more force to grip the tire, make it lean over more. The teams want to preset it. They can preset it 1.8 degrees, leaning it to the left, if you will. Now, the NASCAR technical inspector here, John Darby, has a digital readout gauge that tells him exactly how much camber each car has. Remember, 1.8 degrees, that's it. If it's more than that, they send them back. They have to reset the rear end. If it's under that, send them on out to race or to qualify, whichever. But NASCAR keeps a close eye on that camber. On a flat racetrack like here at Milwaukee, it's very important to have the right amount of side grip in the car.
Thanks, Glenn. As they clean up here, they've been trying to get Robbie Reiser's car restarted. They've refueled it. Now they're going to have to go under the hood. They've tried to push start him a couple of times without success. Very tough break for the Milwaukee Auto Auction FDP Brakes car. Now underneath the hood on Reiser, trying to get him back into the show. Friday evening to honor the memory of Alan Kulwicki. They had a very unique fundraiser here at the Milwaukee Mile that we've been telling you about for the last month or so here on TNN. Here's what happened. Jerry and Thelma Kulwicki were grand marshals for the 7-kilometer run, Polish victory lap style here at Milwaukee Friday evening. Buddy Baker and I represented TNN along with Father Dale Gruba wearing number 7 there, of course. At the drop of the green flag, we had runners, had over 1,000 people walking. And, of course, since it is a racetrack, we had one driving. That's Scott Hansen's ASA car that was used to send the field off. Some folks rode and some were self-propelled. There's Chad Little, Busch Grand National driver. His whole team participated, as did Kevin LePage. We had cheaters, too, people who ran well while the camera was on them.
I see you. Oh, no.
Jim McIlvain of the Washington Bullets and his wife Kim had commandeered a golf cart, so I had an idea. While Buddy Baker gamely soldiered on to complete the whole 7 kilometers. Now we're traveling.
Yeah.
I think I found the way to do this. I like this sport.
That's why they pay him the
donations,
big bucks.
pledges, and an auction, we raised over $36,000 to put lighted ball fields in Alan Kulwicki Park in Greenfield for Milwaukee's youth. Still more funds needed to complete that park, and the toll-free number to call for more information, 1-800-350-ALLEN, A-L-A-N. If you'd like to participate, and they'll have this run again next year while the leaders are on pit road.
Mike, after seeing that tape there, I do believe that I need to stay further away from the table and do more walks.
Well, if it weren't for Catherine, Carey, and Amy there, I never would have had the idea to get that golf cart, buddy.
Yeah, right. You were working on that when we started out.
From lap 1.
He wimped out. He wimped out.
I did not. I finished the whole 7 kilometers.
In the cart.
Okay. Okay. Chad Little ran the whole way, and so did Kevin LePage. Did a great job. Here's Dale Jarrett coming out from his pit stop. Mike McLaughlin got blocked in a bit. Actually got blocked in a lot by Jason Keller. And the rest of the cars on the lead lap coming back out onto the speedway.
Mike, one thing a yellow flag does, you know, we were worried about Dale Jarrett having that terrible stop a while ago. Well, it's all offsetted now. You have Dennis Setzer in second. You have the car of Green in third. So, or Green leading right now, and Dale Jarrett is up to third, and when they start back, it'll be nose to tail.
Now, buddy, the rules said you couldn't use rollerblades. That was my first choice. But it didn't say anything about a golf cart.
Look, we've all seen you walking already. Don't get in more trouble.
Okay. I'll tell you, everybody, all 1,500 people involved had a great time and a very worthy cause. So we hope you folks will support it and be out here and run or walk or ride with us next year.
Exactly.
168 laps complete as the cars 1 or more laps down make their pit stops. And hopefully we'll get back to green here in just a moment.
Over 1 million people each week walk into AutoZone, and taking care of them means having what they need when they need it. That means stocking a lot of parts for a lot of cars. Now, nobody can stock everything, but we stock more than most. And how do we know which ones to carry? That's easy. We listen to our customers, because nobody knows better about what you want than you. So the next time you walk through that door, you might think of yourself as a customer, but we think of you as the boss.
At Stanley, we test the quality of our sliding mirror doors by opening and closing them over 100,000 times. This doesn't make for great entertainment, but it does make a great closet door. The Accent Mirror Door from Stanley.
Hi, I'm Rick Benjamin. Tonight on the PM edition of Race Day, we'll celebrate racing in the heartland on this Independence Day weekend. From Milwaukee to Iowa to Kansas, we'll have all the fireworks for you, TV's fastest half hour.
All you need to know about motorsports. Race Day. Tonight, 7:30 p.m., 6:30 Central, only on TNN Motorsport.
When it comes right down to it, to get your carpet deep down clean, you really don't need this, or this, or this. All you need is one of these, and a bucket of this. Capture Carpet Dry Cleaner. Just sprinkle it on, brush it in, and vacuum up. Nothing's easier or cleaner. So whether it's one of these or a house full of these, remember, you need a bucket of this. Capture Carpet Dry Cleaner by Milliken. Available in a complete carpet cleaning kit.
Available at Crowder Brothers Hardware on Manatee Avenue in Bradenton and East Bay Drive, Holmes Beach.
The Telepersonals Network.
Now the personals are on TV.
Every night live here on cable.
If you're single, turn it on.
On the Telepersonals Network, you'll see ads from hundreds of singles in your area. Place your own free ad.
Listen and respond to other ads.
The Telepersonals Network.
It's the single best way to meet someone special.
Tune in to TPN nightly from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Cable Channel 19.
Downtown Milwaukee, just a short ride here from the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. As we're back live with you on TNN, and we're still under caution, getting set for a restart. Glenn Jarrett's with Patty Moise.
We're standing beside her battered Dial Pure X4. And Patty, what happened out there?
Well, Glenn, I just don't seem to be able to catch a break lately here in racing, but I'd moved down to let a car pass me on the outside. It was a light blue car. I don't even know who it was. And I don't know if he had some sort of problem, got loose or whatever, but he kind of came across and cut the nose of my car. Spun me around. I don't think we'd have backed into the wall because I nailed the gas and I pretty much stopped my backward momentum. And Johnny came through, and I guess he just didn't have any place to go. We caught, hit head on.
All right, as Johnny Benson said, maybe he should have missed her, but just a victim of circumstances, we're back to green.
We restart this race at lap 172. 4 wide down there into the corner. Good grief.
Wow. That looks like bumper cars on Saturday night going in that corner. A lot of contact, but everybody made it through. That Chad Little you see coming down there trying to close in on the leaders.
David Green right with him is 1 lap down. To the outside comes Dale Jarrett.
Wow, he's making that thing work so well. Dennis Setzer under him. Not quite. He closes his door as they start off turn 4.
Trying to get back on the lead lap is Tim Fedua in that solid gold McDonald's number 55. As Dennis Setzer runs for the lead against number 3 Jeff Green.
Look at Dale Jarrett come to the inside down the back straightaway. 3 wide for the lead as they start down into turn 3.
And they both pass Jeff Green. Here comes Chad Little underneath. Gosh, what new tires will do.
Yeah, you see Setzer, he had to check up there. He got real close to getting out of the groove there. And Dale Jarrett took over the lead. Look at Chad Little and Jeff Green way down on the racetrack, racing for 3rd place.
Yeah, Jeff Green held Little way down to the bottom of the racetrack coming off the corner. Little push in the middle of the corner for Green. Chad Little drives up and under.
You see Larry Pearson moving in the fray there. He's in 5th place at the moment. He's moving very well in the 92 car, just outside of David Green as they start in turn 3 there.
And here's Kenny Wallace in the Red Dog number 8.
I'm sure Kenny's done some adjusting on that car. It was getting a little bit loose. That's Mike McLaughlin there in the French's Mustard car.
Back to turn 1. Now 8 lead changes among 6 drivers. As the competitive pace picks up. There's Pearson, 92. Chad Little. Dennis Setzer underneath Fedua. Going to put Fedua away 1 lap back. Dale Jarrett trying to check out. Battle is for 2nd.
Chad Little's on a mission right now. The 23 car there on the inside. He's moving into 3rd place there, and he's starting up on Setzer, who's running in 2nd place.
Dennis Setzer had such a great run yesterday in the Super Truck race. He finished 2nd to Mike Skinner driving that Dodge. Skinner said in victory lane, if Setzer doesn't find a bush ride, I'll buy him a car.
David Pearson ought to buy the whole thing. If I had his money, I'd own 2 or 3 races.
Hear that, David? Oh, close and almost contact as Pearson tried to get under Jeff Green. Does he have enough room? Fedewa's going to have to get out of it.
Boy, Larry Pearson's handling really well. He's under Green now, and they come side by side as they approach turn 1. I would say that Pearson will probably get by and getting in the corner here.
Larry Pearson completes the pass. Still a lot of infighting in that pack. There's McLaughlin, number 34. Jason Keller, 3 wide again. This time David Green has to crack the throttle.
Well, Fedua just drove way on down in the corner, and lucky for Jason Keller because he had made a commitment to the bottom of the racetrack. You see them side by side coming down the front straightaway. Looks like Jason Keller's got a really fast car now. He puts a move on Fedua going in turn 1.
Keller's number 57 is in 8th place. Tim Fedua is 1 lap down.
then he probably just let him have the position there rather than hold him up.
Well, Peta was battling against David Green in 44 and Dirk Stevens in 64. That's all for position. So he can't backslide too much. Rich Bickle, the blue car, is on the lead lap. The Edgerton native having a great run here today after an early spin.
There must be something wrong with David Green's car. You see him there in the 44 car. He's normally up front. He's a past champion last year. Always has a great race car, but he's just not getting around the racetrack at all today.
Friday and Saturday here, he tutored Ron Hornaday Jr., who was here for his first ever look at the Milwaukee Mile, picked up Hornaday half a second, and then acted as the race day spotter for him. Let's go to Glenn.
Well, Buddy, you were talking about David Green. They were talking on the radio a while ago. They missed the chassis setup. They were talking about moving the Panhard bar. This is a different tire than what they had here last year at Milwaukee when David Green ran so well. So different setup is required on the car today, and evidently they have just missed the setup because they were talking about making some major chassis changes.
Well, Mike, you hear them talking all the time about horsepower. A lot of times horsepower is not the answer. It has to go through the corners, too, to use the horsepower. The combination's what you're always looking for.
That's it. All that horsepower isn't worth anything if you can't get it down to the ground and can't get off the corner.
You see Dirk Stevens there. He's running quite well today in the 64 car.
That battles for 16th place, he and David Green.
Whoa, boy, Dirk Stevens had to check up just a little bit. I'm sure that David Green didn't know he was under him. He come right across the nose of the car.
Let's go back up front where Dale Jarrett is trying to distance this field. Look at the lead he has built up on Dennis Setzer and Chad Little. They're second and third. 1.8 seconds.
I'd say the guy on the move right now is the 92 of Larry Pearson. That car is really hooking up off the corner. You watch him gain up on Chad Little, and when you see a car gaining on Chad Little on the straightaway, it's got to be tough.
Check this pack. Up at the front of it, Jeff Fuller moves around Elton Sawyer. In the Sunoco, number 47. Now you're riding along with Dirk Stevens. Jeff Fuller is going to be with us next week at Loudon on the modified race. Going to join Larry McReynolds, Glenn Jarrett, Buddy Baker, Darrell Waltrip, and Randy Pemberton.
You can see Chad Little make a move there by Setzer to take over that spot. Larry Pearson moving in behind. I believe Setzer's car runs very well on fresh tires, but as he goes along, he seems to fade just a little bit. I have one of their hats, and I'm going to hold on to it because if anybody's ever been a great race team, that Alliance race team over the years has really been a great sponsor, and they've had a great car. And I'm sure somebody's going to put Dennis Setzer to work because he deserves it.
And Ricky Pearson and that entire crew. Stretching it out is Dale Jarrett. He's now 2.7 seconds ahead of this battle.
Look at Jeff Green. He's moving in here again. This race car seems to really work well after 8 or 10 laps, so he's starting to rumble just a little bit more.
Meanwhile, Pearson is underneath Dennis Setzer. That's Jeff Green's number 3 closing in, and Glenn is in his pit.
And they fully expect to get back to the front, Mike. They made an air pressure adjustment, let some air out of all 4 tires, and so they said it would take a little bit of time for the air pressure to build back up, get the car feeling exactly the way that Jeff wanted it to, but they fully expect him to be able to get back to the front. They're not at all worried.
Green has moved up now behind Larry Pearson. Dale Jarrett, your leader. Chad Little in second. Larry Pearson is third. Jeff Green is now fourth. And we'll be right back.
Dear Midas, back in the 70s, I purchased a Midas muffler for my 51 Ford wagon, given to me by my father. When the muffler finally wore out, your mechanic, Miguel Cerna, said, "Well, the warranty's still good." To my amazement, I was given a brand new muffler at no cost. I plan on keeping my family heirloom for many years. See you folks next time. Sincerely, James Van Dolfsen.
No. Don't let this happen to you.
All that money?
Robbed blind by an energy thief. Protect yourself with the Weathermaker from Carrier, the world-leading brand. It's the most energy-efficient air conditioner around. It'll save you up to 60% on your cooling costs.
60%? Wow. Hey, the Mitchells are getting new gutters.
Call your Carrier dealer. It'd be a crime to call anyone else.
Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 of our 35,000-mile all-season steel-belted tires at an incredible low $109. That's right, any 75 or 80 series, any 4, just $109 at Pep Boys now.
Work boots. There's one place they don't work. Inside, they just don't have much cushioning. Dr. Scholl's Maximum Comfort work insoles give you 100% more cushioning. They make work easier on your feet.
It doesn't get any closer.
Last year, it was a Winston Cup war. Ernie Irvin's early lead got pushed in the dirt, but Ernie clawed back, then got loose, yielded to the man in black. In the end, Ricky Rudd's late race spin cycle laundered Earnhardt and gave Ricky his first win as an owner. It's the Winston Cup Slick 5300 next Sunday, 1 p.m. noon Central on TNN Motorsports.
It's going to be a wide-open paint-swapping war.
Welcome back to the Milwaukee Mile. Here are all the bratwurst that Buddy Baker did not eat last night at the Brewers-Yankees game. That's all that's left.
They're not.
Oh, watch this.
No,
right side of your
don't
screen.
say-
Yes. There's Larry Pearson. There's Buddy Baker. Dennis Setzer's up there in the third row. Ryan Pemberton on the left side of your screen. He was making up new rules as we went along. He thought if there was an infield pop fly that the base runners ought to be able to intercept it.
I tell you what, as soon as this race is over, I'm going down to the truck and annihilate those guys for showing that. That was pretty ugly.
Buddy, you power scarfed that thing. Gosh.
Oh, that was pretty ugly, I got to say.
Inhaled it in one bite.
This is Larry Pearson coming out of turn 4. Jeff Green right on his heels. You know, Mike, I don't know that Jeff Green's running as fast as he would like to be running at the moment. Sometimes you'll overguess yourself. When they let the air out of these tires, it looks to me like he's a little bit off from what he was before. Did that get out of there quick enough?
And now you see Setzer, who's trying to pull right down and under Jeff Green. Now, hardly anybody's gotten underneath Jeff Green all day. And you see Setzer won't.
Well, the thing that I was saying is it hadn't been but about 5-6 laps ago that he went right by Setzer and really was moving on up in position-wise there. And now Setzer's pulling back on him just a little bit. So I think that Green's having a little bit of handling problems. You see Larry Pearson just in front of him there, moving away. So Jeff Green has been the dominant car all day today, and whatever they guessed on might have been just a little bit off.
You know, Dale Jarrett, for a fellow who hasn't had a lot of track time here this weekend, has really taken off. I mean, not only did his team do a good job in setting up that car, but he wasn't around to be part of it. He was down in Daytona.
I can see that Glenn hadn't talked to him very much about getting a lot of TV time. Run off in the lead as much as he is. We're going to show where they're racing at.
Rich Bickle underneath Mike McLaughlin as they pull up on Jason Keller's number 57. Bickle side by side. The Wisconsin natives trying to lock up that sponsorship for 1996. It's a good way to do it. He and McLaughlin.
Well, that's a tremendous amount of talent. I guarantee you one thing. He spun, what, 8 or 9 laps into the race, and now he's fought his way back into contention here. Bickle is always a threat. You go to Concord Motor Speedway right outside of Charlotte. He's a weekly winner there. He's a race car driver, period. And he really deserves a good sponsor. I hope they stay with him.
Rich Bickle, another of the top talents to come out of the state of Wisconsin. Point leader Johnny Benson got into a head-on crash with Patty Moise and Glenn Jarrett. What's the update on that car?
Well, Mike, they've just about completed repair works to get Johnny back in. You can see it's held together now with plastic tie wraps and rubber bungee cords. They got a new radiator. They're working right now to get the hose into the radiator. Let's take a walk over here and look at all the stuff that they've had to replace on this car. Now, here's a fan, a radiator, some brake duct tubing. Here's some fender bracing, part of the front chassis suspension. Here's the hood. Way over there, there's a piece of fender. Just see it out of the sky back here. They got stuff scattered everywhere, but I tell you, they've done one heck of a job getting this race car ready to go back out there. Of course, he's chasing those ever valuable points. Want to give up just as few as possible in a disastrous situation like this.
Every position that Benson can pick up between now and the end of the race is worth 3 Grand National points. There are 4 cars officially out of the race. He needs just 3 laps to surpass Buckshot Jones' total for the day. And then if other cars fall out, he'll have a chance to move further up in the final tally.
Mike, I was just watching Jeff Green. He's moving around a little bit. He's a very cagey race car driver, and he's changing his groove just a little bit to benefit his car. Now he's beginning to move in on Pearson. Looks like he's got his act together again. You'll do that with a race car. When you make a chassis change, you have to change your line around the racetrack just a little bit to compensate for the things you do to it. So he's really on the move right at the moment.
Third and fourth place battle you're watching behind Dale Jarrett and Chad Little. It's Larry Pearson in 92 and Jeff Green in number 3 fighting for third. We'll be right back to the Milwaukee Mile after this word.
Let Pennzoil put your backside, trackside.
Play Pennzoil's Brickyard 400 sweepstakes. 10 grand prizes of both a trip for 2 to the Brickyard 400 and a 95 Chevy Monte Carlo Z34. Over 80,000 other prizes. Enter wherever Pennzoil is sold or installed by the pros.
Brickyard's the game, Pennzoil's the name.
No matter where I park, it draws a crowd. It's a 55. It's a 55. 55. 55. This is one of the last real classics of our time. What do you think of the bumper, huh? Everything's original. And I take care of it myself right down to the oil and the Purolator filter.
Pure oil now.
It's a 55. So when someone asks me how I've kept up the engine, I just show them the Purolator.
Pure oil later.
I don't think it'd all fit.
Legends live.
55.
A Purolator, Purolator.
Today's cars are a technological wonder. So many makes, so many models, so many parts. In the old days, one standard part would fit many cars. Not anymore. The search for someone committed to having the part you need when you need it can be downright treacherous. You need auto parts specialists, like All Pro and Bumper to Bumper. At All Pro and Bumper to Bumper, auto parts are our business and our only business. The auto parts specialist. All Pro and Bumper to Bumper.
And the pitch to Babe Ruth. How does he do it?
Maybe it was the caramel, the nougat, the peanut-packed power of a Baby Ruth.
The Babe's first figure of the day.
Baby Ruth from Nestle. This baby gets you going.
Leave it to Peerless Faucet to create a shower so smart, it can not only sense when a toilet has been flushed, it can also adjust the water temperature accordingly. Scald Guard technology by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
The first annual NASCAR Family Cruise is December 4th through 8th above on Premier Cruise Line's Big Red Boat. Proceeds will benefit NASCAR's Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary. More information on 800-972-2359. 49 laps to go. As they have caught Chad Little. Larry Pearson and Jeff Green, that is, have caught the second place car of Chad Little.
Mike, you can see that Chad Little's car is getting just like it did on a long run not long ago. The back end of the car started to move around just a little bit. He's getting a little bit loose in the middle part of the corner. Pearson's pulling down on him right at the moment.
Closing up for second place. There's your leader, Dale Jarrett.
Side by side, coming down to turn 1 here. Larry Pearson trying to take over the second spot, rather.
He's going to do it. Pearson is very good into and in the middle of the corner, it looks like, buddy.
Well, Larry's very, very careful when he gets back in the throttle. He acquired that second generation stuff here. His father, David Pearson, was the same way. Very easy on the throttle, didn't get the car out of shape. Hot and slick, he loved it.
You're riding with Steve Boley just behind that group, and at the bottom of Boley's dashboard is a little sign that says X90. That's in memory of Freddie Harback, the great Long Island modified driver who passed away this week. That was Harback's car number for all those championships he won at Islip, Freeport, and Riverhead Speedway. The sport will miss him. One of the co-owners of that car with Boley, Mike Kalanoff, longtime modified guy from Long Island. So Pearson now moves up into second, and Chad Little is back to fourth place.
You can see when the handle goes away on these cars. Chad Little, just a second ago, it was visible. He was getting a little bit loose, and he dropped 2 positions in the last 4 laps. So he's a little bit off right now. He needs the caution so he can work on that car and make it a little bit better. See it sliding just in the middle of the corner.
Johnny Rumley makes a pit stop. 46 laps to go. If Chad Little can hang on to a top 5 spot, he will knock 100 points out of Johnny Benson's lead.
That is big.
That's two-thirds of Benson's advantage. And Benson is now back in the race after a 29-minute stay behind the wall.
Well, I don't want to make anybody have snake bite or anything, but Chad Little's car never breaks down. I mean, it seems to finish every race, and he's doing a great job this year. Benson's going to really have to be careful if he plans to win the championship.
Now, this has been a good battle as well, buddy. This is for 6th place. Jason Keller's 57, Mike McLaughlin of 34, and Rich Bickle in the 54. Here comes McLaughlin.
You think McLaughlin's ever run a flat racetrack before? 90% of his past is on these types of racetracks where the corners are flat, have to be very precise with the accelerator and all. So I'd say he is very, very adapted to this racetrack.
Right, not this size racetrack, but this type, this flat track racing. You bet. And here's Bickle moving up now on Keller as well.
Jason's not giving up. He's still fighting that car all the way around the racetrack. You see Rich Bickle there in the Kleenex number 54. This car, they changed the motor on it yesterday. They found a lot of debris in the Oberg as they started checking. This is a device where you take the front of the Oberg off and you can actually check and make sure you don't have any babbitt or problems in your motor, and you look in the screen, and if it's in there, you know that you have a motor problem, so you have to change the motor, and that's what they did.
Here's this race for 2nd place once again. Pearson, Green, it looks like, buddy, they're moving away from Chad Little.
Yeah, Chad's in trouble right now. He's, you see him driving hard in the corner, but he's not getting the bite out of the corner that he needs. He may have to fall back and cool his tires for a few laps. A lot of times you can lean on the tires a little too hard and get in problems.
They dive under Hermie Sadler's DeWalt Tools Chevrolet. Hermie's going to go 2 laps to make that 3 laps down.
You see Chad coming out of the corner there. He might have done just exactly what I said, Mike. He might have dropped back for a couple of laps, took it easy on the tires and regrouped, and started being a little more assertive as he starts into the corner, and maybe not running quite as hard up off the corner.
Where's our leader? There goes Jarrett. Here comes 2nd place. Half a straightaway is the differential. Dale Jarrett has won Busch Series races in Pontiacs, Chevrolets, and Oldsmobiles, but never in a Ford. That's what he's driving today out front with 41 laps to go.
What a night! The Burger King opening night party for Disney's Pocahontas, now in theaters. What'd you think?
I loved it. Non-stop action. Excellent adventure.
Only Pocahontas has it all. Only Burger King lets your kids relive the magic of Pocahontas with these 8 action toys. They get one with each Pocahontas Kids Club hamburger meal for just $1.99. Personally, I found Percy's performance especially moving.
Burger King, get your burgers worth.
Hey, you get a tough case of athlete's foot, the itching, the cracking, the burning. You want a medicine that acts tough. Boom! Tough-actin Tenactin. Clinically proven Tenactin cures even tough cases of athlete's foot fungus. Get tough-actin Tenactin.
One of these hammers is jacketed in high-impact polycarbonate. The other one is broken. The fiberglass jacketed hammer from Stanley.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Sears Auto Center 250 on TNN is brought to you by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley has been helping people do things right.
That's not Stanley, it's Ricky Pearson, who's the crew chief on the Stanley Tools car. Dale Jarrett running away from the field. Glenn?
Well, he is, Mike, and after the tough year he's had in Winston Cup racing, I'm certainly glad to see that. Now, the crew wanted me to be sure and pass along a big, heartfelt thanks to Jim Sauter. Sauter was here all day yesterday, qualified the car, practiced the car, helped set it up. He went back home to his home, and he's a Wisconsin resident. I believe in Necedah. He's home watching on TV today, so great job you did, Jim Sauter. The crew really appreciates it, as does Dale. Also, this is a family affair again today. Our dad, Ned, is up spotting for Dale, so he's still telling Dale what to do. He's always told me that, but not Dale very much like he does me. But anyway, Dad's spotting for him and got Big Brother down here rooting for him, bragging on him on TV. So still a family affair.
Well, and maybe Ned, who's a commentator for 2 networks, can tell Dale to quit stinking up our show. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, if you got a lead, if you can get a lead like that, take it, right, buddy?
I was just thinking what Glenn just said. If anybody needed yelling at more, it would be him other than Dale.
Well, the Bratwurst truck is now backing up to the TNN compound as Larry Pearson tries to hold off Jeff Green. 36 laps to run. Buddy and I both spoke about this Oberg filter and talked a little bit about how it works. Glenn can show us just what it is and why it's different.
Okay, guys, here it is. This is the screen, folks, that Buddy was talking about. Now, this fits over the end of the oil filter. You can unbolt the end of the oil filter, take this out. Any little particles that are metal shavings or anything, if there's excess engine wear where metal is being worn, it flows through the system. It'll be caught in this screen. You see how fine it is. You can pull this out, check it. If it's clear, everything's okay. If you see metal shavings in there, you better change it because something is amiss.
Oberg is not the type, but the name of the company that developed that kind of filter. Every stock car I've ever seen now uses it.
Yeah, you got to have it anymore.
Napa, we keep America running. Well, here's how they're running. With 35 laps to go. Jeff Green still trying to chase down Larry Pearson for that second spot. And as we go through this order, the first 13 cars through Tommy Houston there are on the lead lap. These cars are one or more laps down. Just out of the race is Marty Ward in the Hooters Chevrolet out of Marietta, Georgia. Johnny Benson puts another lap on the board. It'll move him up to 33rd place. Not many points today for Benson after that head-on with Patty Moise, who had spun at the exit of the corner.
Well, Mike, in that shot there, you see the 38 of Eldon Sawyer. He's reported that he's down on power. He's one of our camera cars today. You can see he's fixing to get lapped over right now because here comes Pearson on the outside. You can see up off the corner, he's just dead in the water. He's fighting it out, trying to get the points, but as far as having a dominant race car, he's kind of out of business right now.
Clear behind him.
Larry Pearson works around Elton Sawyer. Glenn?
Guys, you know, Larry Pearson has been around this place a long time, and he has completed more laps, more miles than any other driver in this series. So if it comes down to experience, Larry Pearson might have an edge, but they're going to have to go some to catch that 32 Mike Tools Ford right now. The rest of those guys need a caution. Dale Jarrett does not.
32 laps to go here on the Milwaukee Mile, which will play host to Indy cars next weekend. And we'll be right back after this.
When I got rid of my gray hair, I wanted a natural look, so I didn't take any chances. I used the sure thing for a natural look called Just for Men.
Apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. It's specially timed to blend away gray, bring back your natural look, and condition hair.
It's a sure thing.
Just for Men, the sure thing for a natural look. And now try Just for Men Color Gel for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. Brush in, rinse out. Just 5 minutes.
In the middle of my workday, I don't do power lunches. I do power lifts. And when you work out this hard, you better use a deodorant that works hard too. That's why I use Speed Stick. It gives me 110% protection that lasts all day. And fortunately, all night. Because while I may not have time for lunches, I always manage to find some time for dinner.
Speed Stick, like you, it never quits. And try new Speed Stick Clear for clear protection that never quits.
5 minutes.
Put yourself in the boots, the hat, the jeans, the chaps of a rodeo cowboy on a hot Friday night in Mesquite, Texas. Get your vicarious thrills right here on Championship Rodeo, tonight on TNN.
Sizzling savings.
Yes, it's sizzling saving time at your Gulf Coast Chevrolet Geo dealer. Save on the all-new Chevy S-Series with more headroom, more legroom, more shoulder room, and more horsepower than Ford Ranger. Just $97.27, or lease for $600 down, $199 a month. Driver's side airbag, ABS brakes, power steering, and more. S-Series, $97.27 or $600 down, $199 a month. But you'd better hurry.
Sizzling savings at your Gulf Coast Chevy Geo dealer.
Hey, kids, you want to have fun with your parents this summer? Then let's get going. Take them to Ebonite's Galaxy Lanes this summer for lots of fun. Something for the entire family all in one place. Test your skill in our awesome video game room. Birthday parties, rock and bowl, billiards, darts, have something to eat, and yes, you can even bowl. It's all here, so bring your parents and show them how to have a real fun time. Be cool, stay cool at Ebonite's Galaxy Lane.
After our telecast, stay tuned for Win, hosted by Rusty Wallace. This week, Rusty takes an inside look at the children of 7-time Winston Cup champ Dale Earnhardt and their dreams of following in his footsteps. Dale Jarrett up front, another fine second-generation driver. He has a son who's tearing him up at Hickory Motor Speedway as well. And a look back. Here's your second-place car, Larry Pearson, still with Jeff Green in hot pursuit. Last night at County Stadium, as Bob Euchre intoned, Larry Pearson, driver of this car, was on hand to throw out the first pitch. Pearson scuffs up the ball, toes the rubber. Here's the windup.
Gotta go. Go for it.
And the pitch.
Wow.
Big applause from the crowd of 16,000. Pearson was handed a brewer's contract. It was wrapped around a bratwurst. High fives all around for Larry Pearson.
I'm pretty impressed. That's a pretty good arm, man.
We were there, but I was in line behind Buddy at the bratwurst stand, and we didn't see it.
I wish you people could have seen what he did. His teeth are no longer sharp. He's dulled his teeth. He's eaten so much this weekend.
Coming up on Steve Boley, that's Pearson. He's got a good arm.
Yes, he does. He also drives a race car pretty well.
Yes. All right, second and third place, Pearson and Jeff Green. And there's Chad Little, fourth place car.
Mike, you can see some of the battle scars on the right-hand side there getting in the corner here. As low as he runs in the corner, he dove under many a car and kind of slid out into them, but that's what we call casual contact. But right now, he's a little bit off. The car's not able to go through the corner with these two cars. That's Larry Pearson and Jeff Green. They're fighting it out, but way up in front of these guys, Dale Jarrett has checked out.
Now, we had a call on the 800 number a couple of weeks ago. What's the difference between checking up and checking out?
A bunch. When you check up, you're slowing down. When you check out, you do what Dale Jarrett's doing.
The term came to racing as in what you do Sunday morning at the hotel. You check out, you're out of here, you're gone, goodbye. And that's what Dale Jarrett has said to this field. Checking up like pulling in the reins on a horse.
Whoa, Dirk
right,
Stevens
exactly.
just checked up. If anybody wants to know what to do, that car got completely sideways coming up at turn of 4. And that, if you want to know what a loose race car looks like, right there it is. You can see him going in the corner. Chad Little losing the back end on the car as he goes into the corner, making it impossible to get back in the throttle.
Dirk in the number 64. There's Phil Parsons. And here is Dennis Setzer, your fifth place car.
Well, Dennis has run super well all day. He's just a little bit off, and on a flat racetrack, if the chassis is not perfect, you lose a lot of ground to the leaders.
And we need to explain this a bit about the Alliance team. Dan Welch, who with his wife Barbara owns this team. Dan is here today. He's up on the roof, in fact, spotting for Dennis. And the decision to shut down the team is a business one. They are opening up some new training centers and going to divert their resources to another focus of the business other than this race team. And it's sad it has to come at mid-season, but business decisions aren't always made on the timing of race season. So.
Exactly. You've seen Dennis Setzer get in the corner pretty hard there. I think I see what the problem is. The car is not sticking at all getting in the corner. He almost got the loose stuff there. He's just that little bit off there, and when you can't drive it deep in the corner, you can't get back in the throttle, so he's got a problem.
You saw the record of Robert Presley and Dennis Setzer in this car. We asked Setzer and Ricky Pearson about their mixed feelings about today.
Well, it was kind of a surprise at this time of year, you know. You think you get started in a team and you think it'll go all year, but that's just one of the things. You know, we hunted a sponsor for the Alliance team last year to put on with Alliance, and it didn't come about. But you know, that's one of those things. That's racing, I guess.
It's hard to leave a group of guys as good as these guys are, but you know, that's just racing business. You know, he's got to do what he's got to do, and you know, we've got to do what we've got to do. But you know, I've talked with several people, and you know, I would like to talk to someone that has got something, or would like to build a team and keep Dennis and myself and a couple of these guys together for next year.
Buddy, you think there's much chance someone would buy that team and keep the team intact for the balance of this season?
I can tell you one thing. If I was interested in owning a race team, I would go after those guys myself, because you talk about a full team, that's it right there. Great crew chief, great driver, the guys that work on that car, and they got some good equipment here. I'd probably go in there and buy the whole deal if I could.
We're inside of 20 laps to go. And here's Dale Jarrett continuing to hold sway here as he moves around Doug Hebron and pulls up toward Kevin LePage. Here's Glenn.
Well, guys, I'm sitting down in Dale Jarrett's pits, and everybody's got their fingers crossed, toes crossed, and everything. It's been a long time since he has won a Busch race. 4 years almost. The last time he won was August 23rd, 1991 at Bristol, Tennessee. Now, that's 43 Busch starts for Dale Jarrett, so they're long, long overdue. Nothing happens. I think they might have this one well in hand, but they're not taking anything for granted. Still a lot of ancient spaces down here.
17 laps, we'll find out if Jarrett can break that 4-year drought. We'll be right back to Milwaukee after this.
In Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, people drive for miles around just to see Don Ballard. Because when it comes to car repair, well, there's not much he can't fix. You see, Don's the type of guy who believes that doing a job right and saving money go hand in hand. So he begins each job with a trip to AutoZone. Sure, it's a 20-mile drive. There are other parts stores along the way. But for Don, when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
A top-secret satellite with nuclear capabilities. A team of international terrorists. A government held hostage.
President Miotta's been safely evacuated.
An undetectable moving headquarters.
I'd like to call your attention to the highly trained men with the automatic weapons that they may be called upon to shoot you.
There's only one problem.
And you're the hero!
The cook from Under Siege is back.
I'm not even a good cook, but there are some things I'm good at.
And things are really heating up.
There's the 45, okay?
Yeah. Last time, he rocked the boat. This time, the sky's the limit. July 14th at a theater near you.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Sears Auto Center 250 on TNN is brought to you by Under Siege 2, now playing at a theater near you.
12 laps to go here at the Milwaukee Mile. Mike McLaughlin has just put it to Dennis Setzer and taken 5th place away. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Glenn Jarrett as we get down into the bell laps here at Milwaukee. And look at leader Dale Jarrett in 32. Heavy traffic.
Well, what Dale's run into right now, the two cars just in front of him there are fighting for position too, so they can't just pull over and play dead for him, so he's having to work his way around, and we're getting reports right now that the second place car is moving in on him just a little bit. He's closed ground a little. Larry Pearson had knocked 0.6 of a second out of Jarrett's lead while we were in commercial. But time may run out on Pearson. There's just 11 laps to go. As he pulls in on the Vermont Teddy Bear Chevy of Kevin LePage. Jarrett continues to hold a little more than 2 seconds. Now let's find Larry Pearson. The yellow car is Jarrett, and here is Pearson. Boy, Pearson is pulling down. Dale Jarrett got hung up in that traffic just a little bit, and Kevin LePage is running quite well right now. You see, he's got to go through these cars, and if he makes a good clean pass, which he just does on Stevie Reeves there as they power down the back straightaway, I think Pearson's really closing some ground right now.
And the big difference is now the lapped cars for Pearson are single file. They've shuffled out. Jarrett came up on them when they were all 2 abreast. Pearson is 2nd. Jeff Green is 3rd. 4th, Still Chad Little. 5th, Mike McLaughlin. 6th is Dennis Setzer. 7th, Rich Bickle. 8th is Mike Wallace. 9th, Kenny Wallace. 10th is Jason Keller. 11th, just going a lap down now, is the number 63 of Curtis Markham.
We can see Dale Jarrett got by Kevin LePage there, and he's moving up on Curtis Markham. And as you say that, here comes Pearson. He's like a quarter of a turn behind him, but that's not much. That's one slip, one catch, one more slip, and you're on him.
Less than 2 seconds. Now, was that a car spun? It is. Number 9, Simmons. Kevin Simmons out of Narrows, Virginia.
The yellow is out.
And it's a whole new race.
Boy, that erases everything now.
Ford won the first 3 races this season. Chevy then won 5 in a row. Ford has won 3 in a row. And Chevy has won 3 in a row. So does that Chevy streak continue, or does Ford start a new one today?
Boy, I tell you what, this is one thing Dale Jarrett did not want to see as a caution this close to the end, because this gives everybody another shot at him.
All right, once again, here are the cars on the lead lap, as we will get back to green to finish this one. Jarrett's the leader. Pearson is 2nd. Jeff Green is 3rd. Little is 4th. McLaughlin is 5th. 6th is Setzer. 7th is Bickle. 8th is Mike Wallace. 9th is Kenny Wallace. In 10th is Keller. And 11th is Markham. They're on the lead lap. 1 lap down, Bobby Dotter, Tommy Houston, Elton Sawyer, and the 18 of Randy Porter, along with Tim Fedua. Those cars are 1 lap down. Now we're inside of 10 laps to go, so it will be a single file restart. All those lead lap cars, and then everyone else 1 or more lap down, single file.
I was watching Dale Jarrett. He kind of acted like he was going to come in the pits there, and he looked in the mirror and seen nobody was following him, went right back out on the racetrack. So he was just maybe doing a little cat maneuver there. See, somebody might go for the bait and jump in the pits there.
Look at all the rubber down to the inside of the racetrack from this abrasive surface. And as Buddy said, has been here since, what, 1967, and is all scheduled to be new for next year. The pit board is out there for Dale Jarrett, but I don't think so.
Some people are planning to change tires, so I think he may stop. Pit road might have been closed just a second ago, and he looked up and seen the flag and went, oh no, and went right back out.
I don't know, Buddy. 7 laps to go. 11 cars on the lead lap. Now, see if we get one to go this time, and see if anybody decides to stop or not.
I don't think they're going to come in, but if I was on Larry Pearson, you better act like you better get back out there.
Will the real car who's going to pit please stand up? Now, Curtis Markham or Jason Keller or Kenny Wallace could pit, because they get to move up ahead of all the lapped cars if they choose to do so.
Mike, if I was on the tail end of the lead lap, I'd come in and get tires right now.
Now Dennis Setzer has given up 6th place to come to pit road. Kenny Wallace will pit. Jason Keller and the 63 of Curtis Markham, they are lead lap cars, and they all will pit, and so will Mike Wallace. So from 8th spot on back, pitted, and so did 6th place Dennis Setzer. So staying out on the racetrack, there's Dale Jarrett, the leader. Right behind him, Larry Pearson. There's the 2nd place car. Now Kevin LePage is 4 laps down, number 71. So next back, there's the 18. There's the 3 car of Jeff Green. He's the 3rd place car. Johnny Benson's still out there. Now all those lap cars will be out of the way for the restart. Chad Little stayed out, so did Mike McLaughlin, and so did Rich Bickle.
Mike, I tell you, that was a big gamble. I forgot about the single file restart. You can pull in and get new tires, but can you make up that much ground? I don't think so.
Well, Glenn Jarrett, did Dennis Setzer make a wise choice?
Well, Mike, I think he made the only choice that he had. You got to remember, this is the last race that those guys are going to run. What did they have to lose? It doesn't matter to them if they finish 5th place, 6th place, 7th place, or what. So I think he made the right gamble there. I mean, you know, he may have enough on those new tires to get back to the front, or at least get back to where he was. I don't think he'll have enough time to get all the way back to the front. But as far as Dennis Setzer was concerned, he definitely made the right move. Everybody else had to stay on the racetrack.
I think you're right. Now they're lining up for the restart. And all this jostling is to get the cars on the lead lap up ahead of those cars 1 or more laps down. Well, now Tommy Houston is pulled to the front of the line, and I think he's just realized that this will be a single file restart. Let's hope he can get lined up here.
Yeah, you see him moving over there, letting the cars that are fighting it out there go by. He's on the outside, don't know what to do at the moment.
Well, they'll get lined up now. pretty close to lined up. There are 5 laps showing on the scoreboard. And the Ford Mustang pace car is stretching the field out. Are we going to get a start? No. The field is not lined up. We will not get a start this time. Keep in mind, folks, this doesn't happen very often where we have this single file restart, so getting everybody lined up is sometimes a little difficult.
What is Chad Little doing?
He just went way to the bottom of the race.
He's got a right rear.
Yes. A lucky break for Chad Little that we did not restart this time. He'll be able to change that right rear and get back up into 11th position, last car on the lead lap.
Mike,
what happened.
You can see Chad Little coming in. He's coming down pit road. Watch the car right here veer and run off into the grass. He almost went to the inside wall there. Now, he was checking to see what tire that was that was flat so he could tell the crew, and it almost bit him there.
He's going to get 4. Now, remember, he did not come in and stop when everyone else did. So if he can make it back up toward the front, he'll be 11th in line. Wow. Last car on the lead lap.
Mike, I was just fixing to say that's a risky move. When everybody was closing back up toward the front there, they run out into the debris on the outside of the racetrack, and I'm sure he cut a tire there.
Here's the top 10, and they are all on the lead lap, plus Chad Little. And it'll be a 3-lap shootout when they come back to the line.
They wanted that caution to go away just a few seconds ago. The guys that
excuse me, it'll be
are on back there.
Buddy, it'll be a 2-lap shootout. They're going to come around here and get 1 to go again.
Wow.
You know, I like that rule they have in the Super Truck Series, where they don't end the race under caution. If the caution is out at the end of the scheduled distance, then they go green, white, checker.
If you were leading, though, you'd go, let's just do it this way.
Yep. I'm not saying it's a great rule for all series.
Here comes Chad moving up through here. Boy,
now, let's explain this, folks. They did not give Chad a courtesy lap. What happened when the field was not lined up, they brought the yellow flag back out to show there would be no start, and then you have to come around, turn the light on the pace car, and give them 1 to go again. What was done. So it was not in deference to Chad Little's problem, but it was because the field was not lined up, and now they are. Tommy Houston, number 6, is the first car 1 lap down. He's in 12th place. Randy Porter in 13th, a lap down. Bobby Donner 14th, Elton Sawyer 15th, Tim Fedua in 16th. Everybody else is 2 or more laps down. And they will race 2 laps. And look for the checker. Well, will Dale Jarrett get his 9th Busch Series win, or will Larry Pearson take it away? Pace car's in. Jarrett's on it, and we are green. Big move to the inside by Jeff Green. Watch the black car down on the bottom. He takes 2nd spot.
Boy, Pearson had a terrible restart. You see, he's back under green now, trying to take that 2nd spot back. Both of them got loose getting in the middle part of the corner. And Pearson takes over 2nd spot.
But here comes Setzer on the outside on fresh tires. Bickle is up there. He's on worn tires. So is Jeff Green.
Wow, he's making it look easy. He's on the outside. He loses grip now. He moves out to the outside of the racetrack, and Bickle does.
Rich Bickle made a shot to get in there, got up in the loose stuff. That was it. Kenny Wallace on fresh rubber goes 3 wide around the outside, and Jeff Green. What a finish for Wallace.
Final lap as we go down the back straightaway here.
Jarrett is uncontested. Pearson in 2nd. Kenny Wallace up to 3rd, and trouble as Bowley crashes with Randy Porter. Off the final turn. And headed for home, Dale Jarrett to win it.
You see Kenny Wallace coming strong there in 3rd place, but he does not have time to close in on the 2nd place car.
And Jeff Green squeezes off Dennis Setzer for 4th place. McLaughlin 6th. Keller 7th. Chad Little up to 8th, and Markham 9th. What a finish.
Wow. You could see the fresh tires, though, just like you guys said. You didn't know exactly what might happen. It's been 4 laps. I know I got a good idea what might have happened.
Yeah, if there'd been 2 more laps
Kenny Wallace
to run,
would have been up there.
You bet. What a tough break for Randy Porter, who was in 13th, just a lap down, had a great run going. Ended up crashing with Steve Bowley with 2 laps to go. Happy crew chief John Irvin. as Dale Jarrett will roll into victory lane. We'll be right back, live on TNN after this.
Some people can't afford to worry about the fuel in their tank. And when it comes to consistency and quality, their demands are among the toughest in the world. That's why most major domestic and international airlines depend on Citgo. And with more than 13,000 locations across America, you can depend on Citgo too. Citgo, the sign of quality.
You're beautiful. You're everything I ever wanted.
If you love your car, what you put on it should be more than just a wax. New Zymol Natural Liquid Auto Polish protects your finish with beeswax and shines with rare Brazilian carnauba. Safe, naturally derived ingredients, so pure, powerful, perfect.
Oh, so beautiful.
New Zymol Natural Liquid Auto Polish.
At Pep Boys, save $40 on our premium brake service. Our ASE certified technicians will install Raybestos lifetime brakes for only $59.99 after rebate. Get lifetime brakes installed for only $59.99 at Pep Boys now.
At Stanley, we test the quality of our sliding mirror doors by opening and closing them over 100,000 times. This doesn't make for great entertainment, but it does make a great closet door. The Accent Mirror Door from Stanley.
Oh, no, it's rolling. Oh, I hope he's fishing for catfish today.
Oh, there he is, son. I said bass. I think Roland's got to be fishing for bass.
Man, he got that thing. Ha-ha, son. Ha-ha.
Please be after walleye. Oh, no. Catch and release. Catch and release. Oh, and Roland is one tough angler.
Fishing with Roland Martin, tonight on TNN Outdoors.
It doesn't get any closer.
Last year, it was a Winston Cup war. Ernie Irvin's early lead got pushed in the dirt, but Ernie clawed back, then got loose, yielded to the man in black. In the end, Ricky Rudd's late race spin cycle laundered Earnhardt and gave Ricky his first win as an owner. It's the Winston Cup Slick 5300 next Sunday, 1 p.m., noon Central on TNN Motorsports.
It's going to be a wide-open paint-swapping war.
Dale Jarrett climbs out victorious for the first time in this series in 4 seasons and his first Busch win in a Ford. Let's go down to the Jarrett family reunion.
And he's getting a big hug from Horace Eisenhower, his car owner. Now, people always ask me, said, how are you going to react when you finally get to interview your brother in victory lane? I said, I tell you what, I'm going to be the professional, I'm going to be cool and calm, and I lied. Way to go, bro! Great run.
Thank you. You know, there's a lot of people to thank here. The crew, certainly. It's been a while since we've won one of these races, but, you know, I got to thank Jim Salter. He came up here and qualified this car and set it up, and I just made a very few changes on the car this morning, and, boy, it was perfect all day long. And, you know, this is for this race team that's worked hard, Horace and Dad who spotted for us, and Kelly and my kids took an extra day off from the beach in Daytona that I could have spent with them, and hopefully this is worth it. Be home soon, girls, and Zachary, and thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Well, a day well spent, but I know your heart had to drop when you saw that caution flag come out in the last 10 laps.
Yeah, that set of tires, you know, although we pulled away, it wasn't the best that we'd had. It was pretty tight in the center, and boy, I didn't want to see that caution. And I was telling John, I just about blew it on the last lap. I was trying to be smooth, and I got in too high, and it just didn't want to turn there, but everything worked out. But, you know, Larry was there, and I was worried about him, but I really got a good start. And the reason I did that is because of John Callis and Earl and everybody at Robert Yates Racing that built this fantastic engine. Boy, it was strong off the corner all day long.
Well, it certainly was, and it showed it on that restart, and Dale Jarrett needed this win. He needed it for a lot of reasons. He's been maligned, he's been kicked around, but he kicked tail today.
Thanks, Glenn. Kenny Wallace, we're told, may be penalized to the tail end of the lead lap. Let's show you the restart. See if it looks as if Wallace did jump. Wallace is car number 8. There he is behind Rich Bickle at that point. And Glenn is with Kenny Wallace.
Well, Kenny Wallace, good restart there, but now that we're being told that NASCAR's looking at that you may be subject to some kind of penalty.
No, I think if you look at it, they're just a little confused right now. I didn't pass. The NASCAR rule is if you're going to pass to the right. What happened, they dropped the green flag, and I got up to the right rear wheel of the Kleenex car, and he run me to the wall, so I had to let out. Cars that jumped was, I believe, 57 and 3 on the inside. But, you know, what got the old Red Dog car behind there was we put on a set of scuffed tires. That killed us, man. I mean, it's like we weren't even in the race no more. And come in there with about 5 to go and put on a set of right side stickers, and, hey, you know, we finished third. We'll take it.
Well, he certainly will. A good run for Kenny Wallace, and I'm impressed by how cool and calm he looks, Mike.
Okay, Glenn. We'll be back with more from the Milwaukee Mile right after these messages.
There's a fine line of motor oil separating your car's engine parts that's as little as 1/1000th of an inch. But friction and heat can make motor oil become volatile and vaporize, weakening its ability to protect expensive parts. Texaco Haviland Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility, fight vaporization, and provide complete engine protection, no matter what you drive.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
People ask me to endorse the strangest things.
A green recliner?
Not much of a sitter. I like going fast. 68 Shelby, and there's only about 300 and some odd made. This car rips.
Pure oil now.
Keeping them up's half the fun. They all get Pure Later filters.
Pure oil later.
I snag them from the track.
Legends live. A pure later, pure later.
Dear car owners, a local mechanic could take days to get the muffler that's made for your car or truck. But Midas has mufflers that fit thousands of foreign and domestic cars and trucks. And we can usually do the job in less than an hour. That's the Midas way. And it's more. It's giving you a thorough inspection, explaining your repair options, replacing only what needs replacing, and giving you a nationwide guarantee that's good for as long as you own your car. That's the Midas way, the way it should be.
Is the gray in your mustache or beard making you look too old? Now there's Just for Men brush-in color gel, specially for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. This brush-in gel stays put to penetrate hard-to-color hair. In 5 minutes, rinse. Your mustache or beard blends with your natural hair color, and it won't fade or wash out.
Now that's a lot better.
Just for Men color gel from the leader in men's hair coloring.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Sears Auto Center 250 on TNN has been brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. Here's a look at how they finished today. Dale Jarrett in victory lane. Larry Pearson finished up in second spot, and Jeff Green came home third. Dennis Setzer with those new tires blasted to fourth. Mike McLaughlin fifth. Jason Keller, Curtis Markham, Chad Little, Mike Wallace, and Rich Bickle as the top 10 were being given from NASCAR. Kenny Wallace on the tail end of the lead lap, then Tommy Houston, Bobby Daughter, and here's a look at the rest of your field. It looks as if Chad Little will really eat into Johnny Benson's point lead. You'll see Benson down there in the mid-30s in that final rundown in 33rd place. If Kenny Wallace's penalty is upheld, Benson will lead Little by 76 points. Buddy, wild show today.
Always is, Mike. I love the Busch Grand National Series, and these guys really put on a show when it comes time.
So Dale Jarrett breaks that victory drought, and we head to Loudon, New Hampshire for a big weekend doubleheader next week. For Buddy Baker and Glenn Jarrett, I'm Mike Joy. So long from Milwaukee.
Win next on